Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam, brother. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Some very strange times over here.
Yeah.
Basically, it's ramped up so much that yesterday they were like riling up at night, and in some areas they were harassing Asians. And there's a guy called Paul Thorpe. He's a like a very patriot sort of a English YouTuber, quite famous.
Paul Torp?
Yeah, Paul Thorpe.
Paul Torp, okay.
Yeah, and he just made a video like a little while ago, and he was trying to tell people that listen, what has Mr. and Mrs. Patel done to you? They had a shop like and they're giving you milk and nappies for your babies at 10 in the night when you have to go all the way like because there's some areas in UK,
Yeah.
uh, all the population is like in far distant areas, so a lot of the places shops shut earlier, and
Okay.
if you need some supplies you have to go like 2-3 miles away. You need to have a car as well. So
Right.
all these sort of people have been targeted as well. And then in the reaction, the Muslims, they apparently made a gang called MDL, like EDL, English Defense League, which used to be here. Like you must have heard about of Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, I've heard of the name, but I'm not too familiar with what he
Yeah,
does.
that guy basically that guy has started up all of this scene. He belongs to Luton, and he was like an activist against the Islamization of UK, and he has had like a couple of scuffles with the law as well,
He's a,
and he
he's a pa-
also
he's a patriot kind of guy, pro-white type of.
yes, and he once like I don't know much about him, but I once saw him on Piers Morgan, and he was there and he was debating him, and then he took out the Quran and he's like, oh, the problem in this country is because this book. So I found that very like I was like these guys don't even understand what's in the book, right?
Oh
And
man,
everybody's
I have a lot to say about that. I know they don't understand the book at all.
yeah.
The
Bismillah,
conclusions
you
I've
start,
come
brother.
to, is not because it's bad or wrong, but the Quran is by far the most hated and controversial book in the world.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
hated, yeah, in a weird way. It's hated by Sunnis because Sunnis don't like what it says. They don't like how it exposes what they say, and that's why they try to make barriers for people to understand it through. You have to recite it in Arabic, and you have to go to the scholars. And then it's hated by the Christian world, who never cares to read it. It's hated by the atheist world, the secular
Yeah.
world. This is the most controversial book in the world.
I think it's because of all these translations and interpretations that have been made. It's to
Yeah.
set up a very nomadic desert Arabian sort of a religion, just like some other religion. I read a hadith maybe 2-3 days ago, and it said that anybody who tries to decipher or interpret the Quran in their own way, he is from the fire. And then Allah says, keep doing tadabbur in the Quran, keep thinking.
Ponder, think, reflect.
Yeah, so if you're gonna think, then obviously you'll come up with ideas, and I don't think Allah has any problem with us thinking about like having our interpretations of understanding because
No, that's
yeah,
that's totally Quranic. God says for us to use our reason. In the end, you're going to face God on Judgment Day. I'm going to face God, and we are responsible for what we thought, we believed, and we can't blame, oh, hey, the sheikh led me astray. No, God forces you to use your reason, and if you don't, and you're misled by somebody else, you're responsible for that.
entirely.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going on here in the UK, and as you being in Canada and you get to hear some news and stuff, what is your like
So,
opinion about all
kind
of
of
this?
geopolitically, what I see rising up right now is a fake manufactured right wing movement which is coming up. There's a growing sentiment in a lot of Canadians, a lot of Americans, a lot of white British, Irish, Scottish people, French, whatever, European descent people that of hating liberals because the liberals they're destroying the economy. We can see just how bad and crazy they are. I mean, now they want to teach your kids about sodomy, how wonderful that is, and how great it is for Billy to have two dads and instead of a dad and a mom.
Yeah.
So there's this growing sentiment of hating liberals, people being suspicious of a lot of foreigners coming in their country, a lot of this forced immigration. They're trying to co opt those sentiments and emotions in what I think is going to be a big right wing movement, which is going to go on a war path really soon.
Over here, okay, last night I actually made a video. I spent 4 hours and I did a lot of took a lot of videos from here there, made like a like a whole sequence. So basically, I'm from Karachi,
Okay.
and in the year 2007, Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto got assassinated. You know about that?
Who say again?
Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, who was a lady,
Yeah.
She was of the people Pakistan's People's Party movement, and she was apparently a former prime minister as well. She had a lot of allegations on her, a lot of convictions and whatever, and she
Mm.
had fled, and then she came back, and then she was gonna address the nation, and then she will take her own stance in the her own stand in the election to come. And
Okay.
the day she had a rally, she got shot. And I basically made a video and I told my whole story, linking it to what happened here, because over here it's so weird and strange. There's this boy who's actually from Rwanda. So his parents came from Rwanda, Christian
Yep.
people, living in this. They were living in. The boy was born in Cardiff, apparently, and then from Wales, and then they came to Southport, England, and they were living there. And all like the boy had gone had starred in a BBC children's promo for something when he was 11 years old,
Yep.
and after 17 year after 6 years old after 6 years in the when he's 17, he apparently just like something switches on and he goes does all this weird shit. So that traced me back to how MK Ultra works, and
Yep.
how they have like like some kind of a signal to activate. It could
These
be sound,
triggers.
like a
Triggers.
trigger. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Really, what MK Ultra is, what they were trying to do is basically force jinn possession on people. That's really what they were going for.
Hmm.
They were trying to break their psyche, fracture their mind so much, humiliate them, destroy them, disgrace the person's dignity to such an extent where they would be the easiest targets for these jinn to come into.
Exactly. Have you ever heard of something called targeted individuals,
Targeted.
TIs?
A little bit.
Okay, so basically, I had heard a little bit about this, but in the year 2021, 3 years ago, I became friends with a guy on Omegle. So he was like a guy from San Diego, and we were into music, we were making music and stuff, but he had schizophrenia, which was apparently due to like a very bad situation, heroic dose of psychedelics. So he had a problem, but he was a savant, and he like his IQ in some things were really amazing, like mind-boggling. But in a lot of the areas of life, he was having trouble.
Despite
So
being high functioning, he had issues in his life.
yes, and it was quite strange because I was like, okay, fine, maybe some dysfunction happened due to the experience. But then I found out that he was taking like medications and stuff in order to kind of go through his problem and be functional at the same time. And he basically I was friends with him for like a year, and like after a year he passed away. But before he passed away, for a month he started having a lot of these attacks, schizophrenic attacks, and he was not able to cope up with them. Then 3 days before he died, like obviously neither did me or him knew that he's gonna pass away, but he sent me all of his files, his sound documents and whatever. And we were friends with another lady from San Diego, and he was talking to her as well, and he was telling her that he was mentioning something called like the woodpecker or something, yeah.
The
And I
woodpecker.
was thinking maybe it's like a schizophrenic, like a jokes that's looping in his head. So he was like, I'm a woodpecker and I would like to feed on bird feed and all of that. So I was laughing, and then the day before the last conversation I had with him, he sent me a YouTube link called the how to disable the woodpecker Y2K signal. Y2K means not Y2K. It's called V2K, voice to kill. It's like a targeted individual signal.
How to kill the woodpecker voice to kill?
No, no, no. The woodpecker signal, there was some kind of a signal going on in his head, which he kept uttering about. And then he sent me a video in order to prove it to me that that he's not imagining it. A lot of people are having it. And so it's like a signal that's going
So,
in
so
air.
the video is the trigger.
No, the video is like a disabler,
Oh, a cutter. Okay,
like a
cutter.
cutter. Yeah. Because
Okay.
I used a lot of sound frequencies, brother. I'm still playing 3 sound frequencies in my headphones right now,
Okay.
because like I'm tuned with them. So he showed me that, and I was like, wow, that's strange. And I was like, oh my god, so this guy is not that ill. Something is triggering him. The next thing I found out from his friend and his mother that he passed away, and he had taken a lot of fake Valiums just in order to cancel that.
How did he die? If you don't
He
mind me
died
asking.
because he died in his sleep. It
And
popped a lot of Valiums, which were fake.
Valiums. What's a Valium?
Valium is like a tranquilizer. You like people for they give people for depression, for drug abuse and stuff. Something that it's like a tranquilizer, kind of pacifies you and it kind of knocks you off.
So
But
he kind of
also,
overdosed a little.
I'm sorry.
He kind of overdosed a little bit on it.
Yeah, basically.
He,
Or maybe it was fake. They were fake as well.
oh yeah.
Because he was used to taking that amount of pills,
Mm.
and he passed away. So I was thinking that maybe this little boy in Southport, some kind of a signal came, and he just randomly got up, grabbed a knife, went to the dance class next door, stabbed everybody, and they grabbed him. And I just heard yesterday, I read in a comment that this guy, when he was called in court, he was acting all weird and strange, but as soon as they named him, the judge named him, he snapped out and he got all like focused in and weirded out. So maybe something has happened, but then you see, because of this little event, so much shit has happened in my country. Like every city is blazing off. They're telling people on
This
YouTube
is
videos,
very
oh please
interesting.
Muslims,
This is very
put your
interesting.
knives back in the mosques, because the Muslims picked up whatever last night, yeah, and they're like, oh, we're gonna fight it off. The thing is, 80% of the population of this country is still white people. If they want, they'll sandwich everybody. But
It's just
that's what
the major cities obviously are seeing a big flux of brown people coming from all over the world, but overall the UK is still majority white, obviously.
this reminds me of a video you made a little while ago, or maybe 2 3 days ago, or like a week ago. You're
Yeah.
talking about Canada being infested with Indians, modern
Yeah.
slavery, and all of
They're
that.
everywhere, everywhere.
Bro, that's the same thing as over here. Just imagine the wage rate per hour is around 10, 11 pounds, right?
Hmm.
But people who are not like, eligible for any of that, they hire them for 5 pounds. They make them fucking
Do
they
they
make
come
them
on
clean
foreign like
everything.
do they come on foreign work status? So obviously they're not citizens, right?
A lot of the people obviously they're not eligible to be able to work. So when they don't have the eligibility, it's all
Ah,
hidden. So just imagine the whole industry at the background is working like this. I'm not saying everybody, because there's a lot of people that don't go with that, and of course obviously they're being monitored, plus they have some sort of nationalism in them, right?
yeah.
But then a lot of the people, the whole system is based on this. The foundations are this. Yeah, fine, they want to kick out all the Asians, all the businesses will go down, but yeah, they will get back up, but it'll take a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a big thing going on right now. It's big because when I think about this situation going on in Canada, America, Europe, I can to a certain extent understand the plight of a lot of these white people. Because, okay, fine. This is the country that your forefathers bled and died for. Let's just say it's a Christian nation because people think that. We'll
Yeah,
just give them that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
Christian nation. We have churches here. We're Christian people. Okay, fine. My forefathers bled and died for this country so I could be here today. Now, all of these immigrants are coming in and essentially remodeling my entire country, building mosques and Hindu temples everywhere we go. I can see why they wouldn't appreciate that. I mean, there's certain parts in these major cities you'll go to. I'm sure it's the same in London, England, in
Yeah.
Toronto. You can go days without seeing a single white person. It's just
Yeah.
all brown people everywhere. And you can go days without barely even hearing any English. So I can understand Matthew, the white guy born and raised in Europe, in Britain, and he's seeing his whole country turn into like Afghanistan. And he thinks like, who are these foreign invaders coming in? I don't understand what they're saying. I don't understand their religion. What is this all about? But the
Exactly.
ruling elite, they're taking these natural sentiments of suspicion and they're going to co-opt it for a fraudulent movement. That's what I think.
Yeah. The way I analyzed it, Shaitan has played a big game. He's made all the Muslims a fool that, oh, this is Islam, right? That you have to, because I saw video
Yeah,
of Ali Dawa. You know Ali Dawa, right?
obviously. Yeah, I've
Ali.
been challenging to him for a debate for years now.
No, no, they're scared. They're too. Only their fans are gonna come, be like, oh, this, that, but they will never come in front, because they can't risk their whole platform for that, bro.
No.
So Basically, the thing is that people like Ali Dawa and Hijab and a lot of other people, they've openly say that, oh, apostates must be done with, right?
Really?
So yeah,
So they go with
yeah,
that
they say,
hadith.
as in like
Wow.
they said, I have no issues and that is how it should be done. Now, God says in the Quran that it's upon you. You
Yeah.
believe or you not, it's upon you
La
because the
ikraha
message
fi
has
din.
come to you. Now you understand it. You can reject or accept it. But these guys, they're like, no, 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 no. So because of that, when a standard Christian or a non-Christian, whatever modernist person, a white person, man, woman, looks at that and they're like, oh my God, these guys, first of all, fled from their land because of some form of prosecution that was, yeah, affecting them. Now
Yeah.
they've come here and they've brought their germs here.
Yeah, again, I can understand the anger and the sentiments that they have, the ill feelings, because okay, you guys, you fled from your religion and your country that destroyed your country, and now you want to build it here and make your mosques here and say that Britain is going to be a Sunni nation, it's going to be a Muslim nation, and
Yeah.
we know they don't mean real Islam, Millat Ibrahim, the way of Abraham. No, they're talking about their Sunni thing. You ran from your country, now you want to turn our country into Afghanistan? I don't think so. My forefathers didn't bleed and die for this. My grandfather fought in the war. This is how they're feeling, these people.
Yeah, because and that's why all these all the people that are writing right now, most of them, like more than 50% of them are just like entertainment people. They just want to smash things, right?
Yeah.
So they're just smashing things. But the people that genuinely there, they have like this. Because look, brother, I've lived in Pakistan, I've lived in the UK, okay,
Mm.
like equal amounts of my age,
Yeah.
and I've seen the difference. I can find some sort of serenity, a tranquility in this nation that you when you're sitting quiet and you don't mess with anybody, nobody will mess with you. But if you're in Pakistan, right,
Yeah.
you they won't let you sit alone. They'll be like, oh, why ain't you part of the gang? And if you're not part of the gang, let us crucify him.
Yeah, it's a very, very collectivistic mindset in Eastern nations.
Yeah,
This is
hive
some,
mind.
yeah, yeah, very hive-minded. This is something I talk about as well. That I can see this because when I go to the mosques and I do my protests, I'm dealing with a lot of people who are from the East, the Middle
Yeah.
East, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, various places. And I can see the closed-minded, hive-mindedness that they have, even more so than the Westerner. Because in the West, despite, and I know you can say, oh, they support liberalism and liberalism is the loudest voice. Okay, that's fine. But there is somewhat of a tradition here of free debate, free dialogue, free discussion. Hey, we have freedom of religion. You're Christian, I'm Muslim. Let's discuss our differences. Let's see who's smarter and more logical. In
Yeah.
the East, they don't have that mentality at all. In Pakistan, they don't have that mentality. It's one voice that gets heard all day long. It's Sunni, Sunni, Sunni.
Yeah.
And I can tell when I go and I discuss with these people who are primarily from the East at the mosques that they're not used to being forced
Individual,
to answer for their religion.
they're not used to hearing individual voices.
They're not used to hearing individual voices and they're not used to having to actually logically defend their religion. They're not used to it. I
Yeah.
can tell by talking to them. This is the first time somebody actually questioned this stuff in their life. And this is in this vacuum of kind of, so you now have a bunch of these people coming towards the West now, and they're being forced to defend their religion logically, which they didn't have to do in the East. They can just beat you with a stick over there. They can stone you. So and then we get these guys popping up like Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawa, Zakir Naik. Who's the other one? The guy who's really
Menk,
popular. Yeah, Mufti
Menk,
Mank. There was one,
Noman Ali
Ahmed,
Khan.
the OG guy, Ahmed Didat. You have these people
uh,
who are now having to give a logical defense for Islam because
Yeah,
now they're in the West. They don't have that kind of protection anymore. So these people filled that market, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah. Obviously, they become the voice because, like,
The
uh,
reason.
any Muslim right now, I can say this: any Muslim who's like who wants to learn about religion, they'll first of all they go to YouTube. What you find on YouTube, you find Bukhari TV, Menk TV, Zakir TV,
Dude, I
Ali
find
Taba
Bukhari
TV.
TV so funny, man. Just the fact that that guy exists and he's not joking around.
Yeah.
He's serious about the things he says. I find it hilarious. But sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. Say
No,
what
no,
you're
no.
saying.
So basically, this is what when they get to learn from all of these things,
Yeah.
then they have those answers. And trust me, bro, whenever I want to debate with any of these guys, they have the same questions. same answers. It's like I'm going through bots. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
where's your level 20 bot?
they're
So
like
we can
bots.
have better questions, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I go when I go to the mosque. It's always this. Every mosque I go to, same question: How do you pray? How do you pray? And it's like a real life bot.
Literally. It's
Yeah,
like I was thinking if I train ChatGPT proper and ChatGPT doesn't hallucinate, ChatGPT can defeat these guys
yeah,
in with two verses. Okay, I even discussed with Igor. There's two verses in the Quran.
yeah,
These two verses can destroy the scientific dilemma and the religious dilemma as well at the same time. Why?
yeah.
Because they talk about one has Makkah, one has Bakka, and they say Makkah Bakka is the same thing, right? But no,
There's no way that can be the
yeah,
case.
because
That's impossible.
one is talking about an event and one is talking about a location, and in the Makkah verse, it's bi batni Makkah, which means the navel.
Yeah,
And then I asked,
the belly of Makkah.
yeah, and then I asked ChatGPT. I was like, "Oh, what do you think of this verse? What is button?" No? So ChatGPT is like, "Oh, it's belly, it's womb, it's belly, is stomach," but it wasn't saying womb. I was like, "Okay, fine." In all other instances in the Quran, when this word is used, what is this like average wise? What is it coming? It's coming to stomach and belly. So I said, "Why over here they're saying inside?" He's like, "Oh, because the scholarly narrative." And I said, "Dump all that.
Yeah,
Become logical, reasonable, and now tell me." He said, okay, fine, if I say it doesn't like you can't contemplate what it means with button, right, with the belly. So then I said, okay, fine, now use etymological references from all ancient dialects that you are aware of, and then tell me, do they know of some place called the navel of the earth? And he
okay,
said
that's
yes.
a good
I said
question.
I said, if God is the creator of all and you believe that, then isn't God directing us to that? And then he said, yes, you're right. So basically the thing is, it's all about education. It's all about educating us. They've been educating us in, and they've made a place, and they're like, when the place was being built, I'm not saying that I'm still not sure what this box is, to be honest, in the desert. When they were making the box, people were looking at it. Then three generations looked at it. Even a child looked at it being built. Now, when that child is old and when that child died, he's just going to tell his son that, oh, the box was being built. Then the story will get lost. Then after
Yeah, it's
20
not hard.
generations, the box was made by God.
Yeah, once you go a few generations down, then you lose that knowledge.
It gets watered down
Yeah,
heavily,
yeah, you
and
lose the history.
new sort of corruptions keep on coming in.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
see.
okay, tell me, what do you think that like they are trying to do right now? Because what I see is that with these little triggers, they're just trying to create proper unrest, and they want the Muslims and the other people to have a face off.
That's what I see happening, and this has been spoken about for a while now. A clash, a World War III, this
Yeah.
great, almost Ragnarok style war going
Yes,
on.
yes,
This
yes.
has been planned for a while, and I think this is going to really tie into Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is going to be the figure. God knows best, but and I believe all this stuff is fake, anyways, elections. But they're going
That's
to put
true.
him in. He's going to be the guy to unite the West to go to war with the East. There's only one person who has the charisma, who has the strength, and now who has the reputation and blood and guts to do this. That's Donald Trump. Because they did that fake, phony theater assassination
Yeah.
attempt on him. And let me tell you, those photos that they captured of Donald Trump, where he's like this and then the ear is bleeding, that was enough for him to win the hearts of the entire West. That is his presidency. He won. He won the hearts of all of America at the very least, if not all of Canada and most of the West by doing that. And he's going to be the guy to go to war with the East. That's what I think is going on. And they're preparing on both sides the mentality for war. Oh, end times, the Dajjal's gonna come, Isa is gonna
Mm.
come, we're gonna fight alongside. We can see both sides are being, oh, Christ is, in the Christian side, Christ is gonna come back, we're gonna be fighting. You can see both sides are being prepared for war right now, especially
Yeah.
with what's going on with even the Gaza situation.
Yeah, that basically that is like that is the whole spark,
Yeah,
because and that thing I saw on a magazine cover, and the glider thing, and I also put it in a short that the gliders were there, the Hamas glider and Netanyahu on a glider in a magazine cover like 10 years ago.
Yeah, no
and
surprise.
the same news they started with the whole
Yeah.
war, that oh, this thing happened, and then they got in there. So much rubbish.
And now is the perfect time to do it. They have been for years in the UK and Canada, even in America too, immigrating in so many of these people from different countries, bringing them in large numbers. And once this war goes down, you are going to destroy the West from the inside because you best believe this is going to cause chaos. We don't just have like one or two Hadithans in these cities. We have hundreds of thousands of these people, right? So
Yeah.
when the Christians go to war with the Western, so the West goes to war with the East, this is going to affect your cities and the hundreds of thousands of Hadithans that you live around, your neighbor, your shop owner. This is going to be civil war even.
And we are gonna get grinded as well because it doesn't say on our face that don't follow this, you know.
They don't care.
Even the Indians, they'll be like, oh, this is also Muslim, grab it. They're like, no, 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 I'm an Indian, I'll worship
I'm
for
a
God.
Hindu, I'm a Sikh or whatever. No, they don't care. They don't. You're
Yeah.
brown and you have a beard and you're not Christian. Okay, you're a target now.
Yeah, when the riots were happening in Southport, I saw a video. This one white guy is like maybe drunk or something, and he's standing in front of the police. He's like, "Oh, this, that," and a big fat pig came and hit his head, and blood gushed out. And that's how it started. And then he turned around, and then one came to his groin, and he was like, "Oh!" And the people like, "He's our guy," and they
Yeah.
grabbed him and got him back. But then I felt this is the first time in my life that I sort of felt sad for the police. They got battered. They
Hmm.
were in the riot vans. Like one guy from the masjid, he fled off when the stoning was happening, and the police got him in the riot van to hide, right? And he
Yep.
got into the van, and he said, "I saw four police officers, one over here with a back hurt, one with a knee, and they're all like in pain, proper."
Yeah.
And I keep telling people, I'm like, listen, like, this country, since Tony Blair, like, he involved all the human rights stuff, and nobody can touch anybody, the police can't touch anybody. Back home, if like you just check out what's happening in Bangladesh, bro. Do you know about Bangladesh?
I saw Brother Igor make a post saying that Allah is with the people of Bangladesh. I don't know what's going on. I don't read the
Bro,
news at all. I don't read
oh,
it at all because
no,
I
no,
just
that's good. You don't read the news, but we're here to tell you, no worries.
yeah. Tell me what that's
Bangladesh,
about.
Bangladesh, basically, the students were having problem with the, quotas
Oh,
for jobs and for government positions for good jobs and stuff.
yeah.
So all the quotas were, for a long time, like even in Pakistan, all this shit happens that they keep giving it to the government people and the people that have family background and all of that. So the ruler
Quotas? You mean
keep
hiring, like hiring people?
hiring people, or maybe like all the merit seats for anything, for education, for good universities, for better jobs, for and higher posts and
Yeah,
stuff.
prestigious offices in
Yeah,
society.
all of them were getting, the governments were getting. So the students just out of
Nepotism.
I don't know what, like they stood up, and a lot of people have died. Like maybe a thousand people, God knows best, but that's what I heard. 1,000 people have died.
Wait, what
Lots
did
of
they do? So the students, so
they
they
pro-
got angry.
they protested proper, no? They stood in front of the gates of their establishments, and they started stoning them. Then police came, and then such situations have happened that they landed a helicopter on the top of a building, and then
Hmm.
they got all the SWAT inside to go kill or like grab
Did
those
they just
boys.
open fire on all these people?
Not as in open fire, but a lot of spots they might have, because I haven't
Wow.
seen all of that, but I saw the footage of the helicopter landing on the building and
Yep.
SWAT going inside.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, they can't even enter from, like, the
Yeah.
Bengali people are quite zealous.
Yeah. So basically, these people they were getting angry that essentially I've studied and invested so much money and time all my life into this career, and you guys have robbed it for me, and you're just keeping it for your own little cronies. I want my life back, pretty much, and then they got killed for it.
Exactly, and the big situation has happened. The president. Okay, now this president of theirs, or Prime Minister Hasina Wajid, she's been there since I was a child. All right, and I'm 40 years old. She's been there in power. So like it's like a proper, like a like a ruler system. So they keep
Yeah.
going on and on and on and on.
An
So
empress.
yeah, so that's what they've done. I think in all of these things that are happening in the world right now, AI has a big role in it
Yeah.
because
Tell me about that. That's interesting.
because okay, I with a friend I was doing some YouTube work, and we made a video on Rohingya. You know Rohingya, the Burma, where the Muslims got chopped by the Buddhists like 3 years ago,
I've
4 years,
only heard of it slightly.
maybe to 2017 or something. So what actually happened was the on Facebook, some fake Facebook bot accounts, they
Yeah.
actually created some sort of a propaganda that the Muslims are doing some kind of a problem. They all got out on the roads. They riled up. They amassed the villages and cornered them, and they literally made piles of bodies, bro. I saw. I was shocked. I was like, because in my
Was
view,
it Buddhists slaughtering Muslims or
yes, and I was shocked. I was like, how come these guys who like meditating night and zenning out, how come they do that? Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how come they?
Meditation's over. It's killing time.
Yeah, they're like now the trips are over, and now so like a bad trip something, and they did all of that, and then afterwards, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, he apologized for all of that, and since then Meta has got stronger that we wanna, but still all AI is overrun by Facebook, bro.
So the bots, they created such a strong propaganda campaign that it literally rallied up a whole religious ethnic group for war.
I'll tell you three more.
Wow.
I'll tell you three
I
more.
already know the internet's already dominated by bots. Completely
Yeah,
dominated.
you guys had an amazing conversation that day, bro, when you put a
Me and
recording.
brother Tristan and Igor. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that was amazing. So
Thank you, brother.
basically, in the Ukraine war, the
Yep.
all of the support of the public is being because of the AI pollings.
Ah, okay. So they're
Another one.
manipulating that.
Yes, and then the Gaza thing,
Yep.
and then this one. When this happened, I have no idea. Like stabbing happened. Okay, everybody's mourning and grieving. Next day, they're putting flowers at the spot, and this big gang just rushed in with their all these gimmicks and fireworks and stuff. And how come they got the news that oh, it's a Muslim or a illegal immigrant? They came stabbed your little girls.
Yeah.
So like,
Even these news articles, they're all written by AI too.
yeah,
They don't even have real people writing these articles. They're written by AI, and they just cycle through subject after subject after subject after.
it's
They create stories, they promote those stories, they kill
yeah.
the story, then they make a new story. It's all an artificial world created around you.
Very much. It's like if I'm sitting here and if I have 10 tools, I'm doing a whole organizational job from A to Z alone.
Yeah,
So basically, this AI is causing a lot of issues. AI, the people, the problem with people is people are so asleep and so the veil on their eyes is so thick that they
right.
can't seem to understand this comment or this ID. Is it real or not?
That's the thing. People don't even understand. They don't know. Because these AIs, they're able to create accounts, literally make faces and put it on the account. They can make a face that looks like yours or mine and put a fake name, Jackson Johan,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
3252 of the
yeah,
planet Zorg. And it looks real. It looks like a real person who made this, but it's just all generated by AI. People can't see through this. They
people.
flood and they cycle comments, they recycle,
Yep.
they put comments at the bottom and others at the top. They manipulate likes and stuff. It's all fake, man.
Some weird kind of stuff, bro. So
Bizarre.
through this, what they're doing is they're also collecting the opinions of people. They're also seeing who's
Yep.
asleep and who's not, because they're checking.
Yeah.
And strangely, okay, now the video I put on last night, it had the Pakistan riots, so it had guns and fires and injuries that were like too much. So the YouTube automatically put it over 18, and I reviewed, and they said over 18. I said okay, fine. But the video I put before was for a tea, a healing tea, and they put that over 18 as well. I'm like, why? Because I was telling people that, oh, when you drink these herbs, this will happen and that will happen, and that's too revealing. My friend told me that's too revealing for them. They
Yeah.
can't let that out.
That's not YouTube halal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because YouTube halal is totally under like a like a whole reference. Okay,
Yeah.
there's another thing that's really bugging me,
Yep.
which is expected by the end of this year, and
Mm.
that is called 15-minute cities. What's your situation? Because Jason Trudeau and our Boris Johnson, they had patched up in this regards and they were friends. And now Jason Trudeau and Keir Starmer, the new prime minister, they're more friends.
Okay.
So what do you think of these? Are they coming in Canada?
Explain to
Because
me the 15-minute city.
oh, you're not aware. Okay, Jason Trudeau has been talking about this for a bit, like since Snowvid happened. So
Novid. Yeah.
yeah, Snowvid, yeah. So he is saying that in 15 minutes you will be around all your resources that you need, your shops, your hospitals, your so you don't have to go anywhere, and then they might gate them.
Oh, so
Yeah,
kind of lock you in.
basically. And Keir Starmer on that day when the stabbings happened, and after that when he did a speech, and he's like, "Oh, I think it's time that we should get those electronic verifications on." And then I did some research, and I found out that almost most of the high streets in England, they have those cameras which are literally scanning everybody's face, every car's license plate, and they're scanning everybody.
Yeah.
So they're all automatically doing that.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the 15-minute cities, it's just like how they said about China that, oh, if you don't have those special social points and you're not like you don't meet up with the mindsets of
Social
those.
credit. Social credit.
Yeah, social credits. Yeah, so you won't be allowed to take the better train, or you won't be even allowed to just step out of your gate.
Wow. They'll
Yeah,
say, well, you have all the necessities of life around you, 15 minutes away from you, so you don't need to go any further than that.
exactly, and that's where you get everything, your medicines for your arms, for everything.
Yeah.
Another thing I just came across that they said that, oh, people are not taking vaccines. Let us vaccinate their food. Let us
Oh
vaccinate their
my
cows.
goodness.
Let us vaccinate their cows. Let us vaccinate, like, all of that stuff. Like pesticides they're putting in the food anyways. They're putting all of that stuff there anyways. But if they
Yeah.
start putting mRNAs those mRNA in like for the cow that you're eating on your plate,
Yeah.
so it's going in you, even if it's not going in your bloodstream straight away, but it is going there. And how much of your detox system can fight it? That's the thing as well.
Yeah, it's brutal. They attack us through the food so much. It's such a battle, such a battle. Even because if even when we're eating animals, we go to a grocery store, we get just some beef or some chicken. You're basically getting, unless you get prime grade or really nice stuff from a butcher, you're getting sick animals. You're eating sick, vaccinated, medicated,
Mhm.
deteriorated animals, and
Yeah,
that lack of strength and that weakness, it goes into their fats and their muscles, and you're eating that. It's not good. One of
yeah,
the one of the worst aspects of the system.
exactly.
Even
It's
even
like,
if you choose to never eat canola oil, seed oil, I'm not going to eat at any restaurants. They all
yeah,
use seed oils. I'm not going to
yeah,
eat potato chips, and just going for the meat and the simple. Even that stuff is attacked. The fruits are sprayed down.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys live in the main city in Toronto?
Not no, not in Toronto. I'm in London.
Okay, okay. So you're near Greenery a lot. I've seen you go work out in parks and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So
London's
uh,
a kind of a small city, but it's growing. It's about let's say 2 hours from Toronto.
okay. So do you guys?
I was just in Toronto doing some street preaching at probably the busiest place in all of Canada. I'm gonna
Oh,
upload that soon.
oh, the last video with Tristan, where was that?
No, no, that was in London, the one that's up
Okay,
right
okay,
now. But
okay, okay.
God willing, soon I'm gonna upload the one I was just there yesterday with him. We were out in Toronto doing street
Oh,
preaching. I
brilliant.
debated with I don't know if you ever heard of this guy is probably the most popular Christian minister in the world right now. He's called David Lynn, and he runs a
David Lynn. Yes, yes, yes,
David
yes.
Lynn street preacher in Toronto,
Oh,
and
you debated him?
not him, but his church Christ Forgiveness Ministry. I debated his people. They were out street preaching that day.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah, they had a microphone and everything. I was going back and forth with them. They couldn't answer my questions. They couldn't. I could
Because
tell
they
that they were frustrated with what I was saying.
Yeah, because it's all indoctrination.
Yeah.
If they just start thinking, they might get through. But
You know what the issue is? The issue is they're possessed by jinns. That's the problem. That's the root of the Christian religion. I'm telling you, when these people, when you pray to Jesus, whoever
mm,
that is, not
yeah,
Isa,
yeah.
the son of Mary, and you just say, enter my heart, and you pray in
Oh,
his name, you are calling upon a jinn to come in you.
into
Or
your heart.
jinns,
Wow.
plural.
That's deep, bro. I didn't think like that ever because
That's
if
true.
I'm saying, "Oh Allah, help me" and whatever, but if somebody's saying that thing, is like that's dangerous.
Yeah. If you there's a verse in the Quran where God he suggests what is it? It says something to the effect of God talks about people ascribing sons and daughters to God, and it says they only worship the jinn. So God lets us know that those who worship these son of God personalities, they're actually worshiping jinn. And I really think this Christian religion, at the heart of it, is jinn possession. I mean, these people are you like let's say you look at me doing my street preaching. I'm a
Mhm.
calm guy. I talk to people normally like a gentleman. Hey, are you ready to see God on judgment day? These people are screaming in the streets. They're mentally unstable. They're crazy. These people believe they're eating the flesh and blood of this dead man when they take the Eucharist. There's something very dark and demonic about this
Yeah,
religion.
it's like a spell on it, and
Yeah.
it's like they are in a very apocalyptic sort of mind frame,
Yeah.
and they think the apocalypse coming and he's coming back, and because I've seen some of these people in it, they go nuts.
You see the instability of their mind, right? They're not like calm gentlemen, let's say like Brother Igor and Brother Sam. No,
Mhm.
they're crazy. They're yelling. They're screaming. At one moment, they feel elated over Jesus. Oh, Jesus is amazing. And then another moment, they're making a video crying. Oh, the Holy Ghost
Yeah.
has led me down.
Yes,
Oh, I know I'm
like Sam
forsaken by the
Shamoon.
Ghost.
You know Sam Shamoon? You made a video on him, I remember.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that guy is mentally shattered.
Oh.
His brain, it's as if somebody literally hit the puree button on his mind. His mind is just mush. There's nothing going on in there.
I have no
This
idea how people can take them serious, bro.
I have look at these people, the ones who are most gung ho about Christ,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're big on this, and they hate the Quran, they hate Islam. David Wood, these people, they make a humiliation out of themselves. The
Mhm.
jinn, I'll tell you one thing. You could probably tell this just by looking at them. These people, they'll talk about how Christ is amazing and everything, and my life is so perfect now that I gave it to Christ. These people's personal lives are a total mess. They're mentally destroyed. Their family relations are horrible. They have no friends. They live alone, and they're messed up big time.
Yeah, because the jinns they segregate them from everybody, you know. Otherwise, the possession's not easy.
Yeah, and they have no control over their emotions. They have huge, sensitive, inflated egos. Their lives are a mess, bro. They're weeping
Yeah,
like babies
bro.
when the camera's off.
Reminds me that just Muharram passed by. You know,
Yeah,
Muharram Shias.
yeah,
Basically, they have the same thing, same syndrome. They are kind of addicted
same
to
thing.
shedding tears. And well, when I was in Pakistan, when I was like apparently a Sunni, we used to debate them a lot.
Yeah,
One guy told me something weird. He's like, bro, they have some jinns that come to them and they tell them that I was with the Prophet's grandson in that Karbala at that time. And I've witnessed all of this shit, yeah.
oh man.
And then you know what they tell them? They tell them that there are some angels or some people, some invisible spirits. They are there just to cry. It's like how we say angels are there just to worship Allah. They say
Yeah,
there's
glorification,
yeah, but they say that there are some specific angels there just to cry.
just to
So
weep.
yeah, so is this the same like Christianity? Like, oh my
Y-
God, died and
yeah,
all of
you even hear a lot of these Catholic chants and Orthodox chants, and it sounds like somebody's mourning, like
it is,
"Ooh." That's how it sounds like somebody's mourning. And
bro.
we'll get into this Christianity thing. If you look, what is their whole religion about? They look at a dead, humiliated, crucified man. You see the guy. He's literally
Yeah,
and he's baking in the sun and skinny. You can see his ribs jutting out of his side. And
yeah,
this is who they worship, this defeated, humiliated man.
yeah.
My goodness. And this kind of defeatism and worshiping a defeated person, and mourning and weeping, it enters into their religion as well. It's very masochistic.
I remember some connection with this.
Yep.
So basically, the thing is when psychologically when they're told that oh this man, this roasting man
This is
has
your God.
yeah
This is your God.
yeah, and he's died for you, and he's taken all of the things that you're gonna do in the future. He's taken it on him, so you're exempt.
Yeah. It's a
Have you
license
seen?
to sin now.
Do you know about Black Mirror?
Black Mirror?
That's it's like a sci-fi show that came on Netflix where it was talking all about. basically transhumanism and how we're gonna like give into technology and Satanism and stuff in that way. So there
Okay.
was an episode, strange episode, all right. There's a guy and he's like all suited and stuff and comes out in a vintage car, like expensive car, and he goes from family to family. He's got a briefcase, and they show like the vintage families, like 40s, 50s, that kind of stuff. So they're
Yep.
all like, oh, please come and have some tea. And the guy is like an agent, government agent or something, sitting down. He's going to open his briefcase. He's going to take out a little box. And then he's going to open the box. Inside there is a button, a big button.
Yep.
And he's like, if you press this button, your dreams will come true. But
Okay.
don't ask what's going to happen when you press the button. So a lot of them decline and a lot of them accept it. So the whole thing they were trying to show with that is that when these elites they make these big moves, right?
Yep.
They don't do it with their hand because they don't
Um.
want their energy involving in that because the whole backlash is gonna come to them.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like in an occult sense.
In an occult sense, that there's other influences behind this.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
was like, how crazy is that? That they have a button and you press the button and something will happen somewhere. Don't worry about it. Here's your money.
Some mysterious force
Yep.
will
Yep.
give you what you desire, but probably in a way that you didn't expect it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Christianity, the belief of oh, I can do anything, I've been exempted. I just have to believe this guy is the God.
Yeah, he died for all my sins. Again, God forbid, but calling a defeated person your God, it has led into a very dark and self deprecating religion, a self beating religion. You even have, what was I going to say with the Christians? Yeah, I was going to say that a lot of so you hear this story all the time. They'll say, this is something I've talked about. They'll be like, oh, I was down bad and I was sleeping with prostitutes and selling drugs and pimping women out. I was living a sinful lifestyle. Then one day, while I was laying on my floor, particularly broken and downtrodden, I called out and I heard a voice say to me, I am Jesus, I am your Lord. And do these people not? So you encountered Jesus, quote unquote, for the first time when you were in a sinful state, you were living a bad life, okay? Do you not think that maybe that was a demon that possessed you at that time? That maybe your sins opened you up to some demonic possession? Because here's the thing, when you read the Bible, you read the Quran, it's very clear. When God speaks to people, and we can't hear God in the way the prophets did, but when he does, they're in a heightened state of purity and righteousness. Only the most noble of men can hear their Lord. You were in the most pathetic and deplorable state, and you think God spoke to you? That was your sin. That was your sin bringing in a demon, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an assumption, a self-gratifying assumption that, oh, God picked me up. Yeah, no doubt. If you're sincere, God can pick you up, but you're prey. You're open prey to all of them. You're in the lower dimensions at that point.
Yeah. No, that was you see hear their stories. It's not about repenting. It's they heard Jesus first, and then afterwards they do this that. No, you
The
didn't even
voice,
repent and change.
the physical voice, the audible voice you're
The
talking about.
audible voice, right? And God doesn't speak to us through voices in our head. He leads us through intuition, serendipity. But when you're hearing a voice in your head, in I am Jesus, you know that's a demon right there talking to you.
It's crazy.
Creepy stuff. I'm
When
telling
it
you, Christianity makes my skin crawl.
Oof. I've also heard of people, they were like, they used to get, I don't know what kind of possession that was. They used to get those crucifixion marks on their
I
feet and their hands.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's in the Philippines or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of places this thing has happened. Some
Yeah.
weird stuff. And like, there's something, because I've been connected to a lot of Christians in Pakistan, but a lot of my friends were Christians.
Oh,
So
really? Wow.
over there were Christians from Goa. So they're like the Anglo-Saxon, Portuguese sort of people.
Oh,
So
Portuguese in Pakistan?
no, because long before the British found the subcontinent, it was
Yeah.
found by this Spanish guy called no Portuguese guy called Vasco da Gama.
Okay.
So basically, Goa is also called Vasco City or Vasco Town.
Vasco City.
Yeah, so they're like Portuguese descendants over there
So
because
Christian
this.
influence.
Yeah, so they mixed up with the Indians and all.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So what was I saying in Portugal?
You were talking to your friends, Christian friends.
Oh yeah, yeah, they all come from there. So basically, in Pakistan, the Christian population is not that much. It's very
Yeah.
less, but it's really highly what do you call them, demonized.
Yeah,
Not as in
they get
openly, not as in
mistreated. They get
openly.
mistreated by Sunnis.
And I saw a documentary on the what do you call them, the way that they are. What's that word, man? They look down upon all of these guys,
Yeah.
and they get like I saw two three families. They were giving their interviews. One person was one woman. She was like she was a Muslim, a Sunni, and she became a Christian.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro, the hell she went through. You have like she could not get documents. The kids couldn't get documents. The kids couldn't go in school and all of that stuff.
Yeah, they're unjust. They're unjust.
Like the way that they justify that they, oh, that we're the chosen ones. It's just like how the Jews think that, oh, we're the chosen ones, we're gonna get burned in hell for a bit. Just that's the way the Sunnis and all they think as well at times.
Well, maybe if your Sunni religion wasn't filled with so much garbage and nonsense, then people wouldn't be leaving to Christianity in such large numbers,
I've
right?
seen tons of videos.
The craziness of Sunni Islam and specifically the Sunniism that's in Pakistan with all this beard stuff and guru stuff. Oh man, people want to leave it right. They run away from that stuff. Just like people run away from that crazy Shia Islam. Many of them leave. They become atheist or Christian because it's in particular I'd say Pakistan, Iran,
Yeah, yeah.
Afghanistan, the kind of weird Islam that they practice there. It makes people's tongue go sour.
It's very explicit as well because they'll do those actions, they'll perform those actions which you can't do anywhere else. Like they'll openly beat themselves, and
Yeah.
they're like stabbing themselves,
Stuff that
blood is
stuff
everywhere.
you won't see anywhere else, just in those regions.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
and it's weird. And oh, another thing that kind of fueled up all these white people here in England
Yeah,
is right now on Ashura on 10th Muharram, these
yeah.
guys came and they flooded central London.
Wow.
They weren't beating themselves, but they were doing that demonstration and stuff. Now, when I was a kid in Pakistan, we used to watch Indian TV, right? So I used to see their celebrations when some of their days they're taking all the idols and they're roaming around and they go put them in the water and stuff. The Shias are doing the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
And they think, oh no, but this is we're separate. How?
Yeah, they lie, and God bears witness that they're liars. They lie. It's the same kind of Jesus Christian idolatry. They'll pray in the name of Ali, and they'll mention Ali in their prayers, just like
Yeah.
Christians. They mention Jesus in their prayers, and same thing, man. Same demonic possession. That's another dark, despairing, mourning, humiliated religion. Look at these people. They beat themselves, they whip themselves, they mourn and cry when they
Yeah.
remember the death of their savior, right?
Yeah. And it's so strange. There's something called an apparition.
Yeah,
Apparition. So there's some
like a
apparitions
ghost.
that they've happened in Brazil and in some places in Europe as well, Bosnia and other. What happens is there's like four, five children. They're maybe 6, 7 years old, girls mostly. They're
Yeah,
standing, and a light is coming from above, hitting them. They're speaking in some weird tongue, and they're all uttering the same thing in unison.
that's
And the whole
bizarre.
and the whole public is looking, and they're like, "Oh God!" I've seen a lot of this. So what
Yeah,
is all of that? Like basically the jinns are like we can literally touch them and they will be like, oh Jesus, thank you for hugging us and all of that.
yeah.
So it was very crazy. A friend showed me this and he was like, look at this, what do you think this is? And he was saying it's some alien invasion. I was like, nah, bro, this is
Jinn
some
invasion.
jinn wearing a white cloak. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
that's really what it is. And that's what I notice with true spirituality, true Quranic faith, or I'd say the true relationship with God, it's not unstable like that. Screaming at people, yelling at people, speaking in tongues, going crazy. It's calm, it's gentlemanly. We're not demonically possessed. It's the demonically possessed people that have to go into all this crazy, charismatic, flowery, or I should say fiery presentation.
Yes. and very overzealous and screaming out loud, like as if the very important message and everybody's ignoring. That's the thing on their head.
Yeah.
That they're like, oh, why they're not listening? Why they're not listening? Because you do not even sound sense.
Yeah, I got to tell you, there's a funny story. I was out in Calgary, and Calgary is filled everywhere. It's these Christian street preachers, but Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, yeah, Alberta, yeah.
Yeah, in Calgary, there's these street preachers. They're everywhere. I think they're Eritrean, Ethiopian, East African Christians. And there's this one
Oh,
guy. He was just always screaming on the streets every day. The specific spot, I can tell you, it's right in front of Marlborough Mall, that area. Just screaming at people in the name of Jesus, screaming at cars, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you, and he's just going nuts. This guy. And I remember okay, this guy was so funny, just how mentally broken he was. There was this homeless guy on the street sitting on a post, and he goes up to the guy before even saying anything, before introducing himself first. He goes up to him and says, Jesus loves you. How are you, brother? Like, can you imagine how crazy?
that guy would be like, has Jesus got any money for me?
Yeah, and I got into a little debate with him, and I discussed with him, and I had a few different discussions with him, and at the time I worked in a mall. I was selling suits in a mall in Tip Top Tailors. It's a suit selling store,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he knew me because I was a Muslim who debated with him. He came into that store actually to buy a suit, and it's kind of funny because while I was doing my job helping him
You
find a
do
suit, we were also debating Christianity and Islam. This guy, so he picks up like a really beautiful gray suit off the wall. It's like a light, shiny, beautiful gray.
yeah.
And what did he say to me? He said that this suit is so beautiful, and I said, yeah, it's a nice looking suit. And he said, look at it, it reminds me of Jesus Christ. And he starts laughing, and then I tell him, dude, you're crazy, you're out of your mind. And he said, I'm crazy for Jesus. I'm telling you, these
There
people,
you
they got
go. There
something
you go.
going on.
So this is you made mashallah, you've covered all these topics. You made a video about making a religion an idol.
Yep.
So this is just like idolizing a man. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
idolizing a man. Basically, an idol is anything that you love and dedicate your life to more than God. It can be money, it can be women, it can be your religion, your tradition.
yeah, could be a
You notice
wife.
these hadith people, hadith followers, they don't talk about God in and of himself, your creator who made you. No,
Mm,
they talk
mm.
about Islam and what this religion requires and what's is in Islam and what's not in Islam and who is kafir from Islam and who's not.
Yeah,
It's an
that's their
idol.
biggest concern. They keep are very concerned about whether you're in their boundaries or not. So they keep checking. Psychologically, they're like, oh, I'm checking, I'm looking. Oh, you're not doing correct. Oh, brother,
But it's
come,
not
come.
about God. It's not
No,
about
no,
God.
no. It's about
It's about this cultural ethnic paradigm known as Islam.
yeah. They keep on solidifying the shell in it. So everybody thinks that that's the problem. Everybody thinks that oh, if it's so well strictly organized, so it should be the right thing. Although it's
Yeah.
not producing any results.
No, you
Any.
guys, I'm gonna upload a video, God willing, soon. I have it in my
Inshallah.
phone. I have to put it up. Why the Sunni mosques, in my opinion, they have no authority anymore. They've lost all their authority. We don't need to listen to them. They're always big on claiming we're the sheikhs, we're the mullahs, we're the imams. You should listen to those with authority.
Yeah.
One of the big reasons they have no authority now is look at how badly your countries have failed. Why does nobody want to live in your countries? Okay, you guys have plenty in Pakistan, in Syria, in Lebanon. You guys have plenty of Sunni Islam in those countries. Every street corner has a mosque and an imam there preaching the Sunni religion. How come nobody wants to live there anymore? And you want to come to the kafir countries, the West? Why? This proves to me that your religion and your mosques have no authority because nobody wants to live in your countries.
Exactly, because the indoctrination is kind of makes them, scared as well. They're scared of everything. They're
Yep.
scared of stepping up. They're like, oh, what if the biggest problem about these sectarian Islam is that it keeps you in a fix that oh, if I think like this, what if God's gonna get angry? Oh, what if I do that? God's gonna get angry. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's a very OCD religion. You'll see. I stepped into a washroom now. I have to say, and it's again.
Yeah.
I love praying to God. But what God tells us to do in the Quran is remember Him in an organic way. Remember Him all throughout your life, all throughout your day. Give thanks to Him. Remember
Yeah.
Him. That's proper. But they do it in an OCD way. Oh, I stepped in a washroom. I have to recite this thing. Oh, I'm doing my salah and I sneezed or I coughed during my salah. Now I have to recite this thing.
Yeah,
Oh, I stepped out of the washroom and oh, I ate with my left hand. Now I got to recite this thing.
yeah,
And it's very OCD. Oh, I forgot to recite that. Oh, I prayed an extra ruku or whatever. I did extra
hmm,
ruku and sujood. Is
yeah,
God going to accept my prayer? Again, this kind of OCD religion, it's not an organic remembrance of God. It's just
yeah.
this affects their minds and their personal lives as well. These people's personal lives are a mess.
I'll tell you how I've been in the past. I was in a very weird kind of a flux. I was like, okay, let me sin a bit, and then I'm gonna go pray, and then I'm gonna sin a bit, then I'm gonna pray, then I'm gonna sin, then I'm gonna pray, and then I was in a flux that what if
When you pray, you mean there's salah ritual,
this
right?
salah and I'm gonna ask for forgiveness, but then
Namaz.
I was always thinking that what if I die at the time when I'm sinning and not praying,
But you, uh,
So
you you were really kind of in a sense playing games with God. You were trying to deceive
basically,
God.
every human being is thinking that I'm gonna go pray, do my dua, then I can go deal with the world. But they forget that when you are praying to God 24/7 in your mindset, then you are conscious of Him all the time. You won't sin. You don't have to worry about it.
That's what it is. It's about, again, it's a genuine repentance, turning around, not this kind of, oh, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that to wash it, I'm going to do this. And they're big on that. There's so many hadith that say, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite this prayer and you will have your sins for the day forgiven.
Yeah,
Or this whole idea of touching the stone and it's going to
yeah, yeah,
forgive your
yeah,
sins and wash your sins. This is all Christian stuff. Again, this Christianity washing easy, cheap tickets to paradise, not repentance, change, reforming,
yeah.
discipline, pruning and purifying your character. No, it's about easy, cheap tickets to paradise.
What's the concept of holy water in Islam? Is there any?
Zamzam, of course, they
No,
they
but is there any Zamzam in the Quran?
it doesn't exist. It's not
So
anywhere.
so so there's no holy water in the
No,
Quran.
you have this everywhere. You have, I don't know what it's called in the Hindu tradition, but they do they
In
do
Hindu, there's something called Amrit, which you drink for
Amrit.
eternity, for
Yeah,
you live eternity or whatever.
yeah,
Like
Amrits, they do that. Sorry, they have the Amrit water, and then you have with the Sikhs, they have a certain baptism ritual as well. Then you have as well in the Christian religion, they have their baptism, and then you have in the Hadithan religion this
you have a
Zamzam
ghusl.
water. This whole concept of kind of making water holy and it being purified, and yeah, it's everywhere. Another
Okay.
one that they have is
Yeah.
is the beads that they count on. The
Oh,
beads that
that's the tasbih, innit?
tasbih, yeah. In the
Yeah.
Hadith and world, they do tasbih. They just go Allah, 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 La ilaha illa
Uh,
Muhammad Rasulullah, La
uh,
ilaha illa
uh,
Muhammad
uh.
Rasulullah. They just count it.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
yeah,
God
yeah,
doesn't. Again, and they think they're getting points with God by just reciting. You have that there. You have the rosary in Christianity, and then you have, I think it's called Japmala in
yeah,
Hinduism, maybe something like that.
yeah, Durga Mala.
Durga Mala, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
It's obvious that the Hadith following Sunnis, they just copied the pagans. They got their own holy water. They got their own beads that they count
Yeah.
on. Come on.
They were just like, okay, let's make a new group and we'll keep these attributes
But
and
we'll
we're
make it
good.
like Arab cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had no idea that the internet is gonna come, that the world is gonna get so much mixed up. It would be impossible.
They
They
didn't
didn't
see
even
it
think of
coming.
that.
They didn't see it when the Abbasids or whoever invented this religion as it is today. They didn't know that all this stuff was going to come and expose them. And again, it goes to what I said. They're not used to having their worldview questioned and being forced to think about. You don't get that in the East, so they're in a big, I should say, cruddy situation right now because, and
Yeah,
that's why guys like hijab and Ali Dawa, they're popping up to
yeah,
give a logical explanation for a religion that never had to explain itself before.
exactly. Well, the way that you do your dawah, right? If
Yeah,
like for instance, I'm doing over here, right? Even here, I'll face a lot of problems. Somebody will grab me.
yeah,
Yeah, because over here there's a lot of okay, let me. It reminds me what There's a guy called Jason Christoph. He is a self-sabotage coach. He used to live in Canada. He's like
okay,
over 50, and like he trains people how to remove subconscious programming and stuff.
okay,
And yeah, he's been hired by a lot of people. Does these courses. So he started giving his podcast in discussions after Snowvid.
yeah,
So so what he was saying is that basically when people are like the subconscious mind is actually responsible for our daily actions.
Yeah.
And the subconscious mind, it gets activated more when there's certain poisons enter the system.
Physical
Because
poisons.
yeah, because the conscious mind does not know how to deal with them. So the
Okay.
subconscious mind is like, oh, listen, go take a shower, let me deal with it. So the discerner goes to take a shower, and the people pleaser is there all the time. And because of that, everybody is stuck in that, let me please the hadith, let me please prophet. They want to please the prophet big time. That's the problem. They've been given training that, oh, this man, he's the amazing man. Okay, I agree, the
Yeah,
prophet
we have
is,
nothing
all
but
prophets
respect for
of God
him.
are amazing people. Okay, but
Yeah.
they're like, this is the last prophet. And they wrote some books about, there's something called shamail. Shamail means the attributes or the physical descriptions of the prophet, right?
Yeah, that he had, wavy curly hair
And
and
all that. And they're
yeah.
like, and everybody tries to mimic that, although doing that is not creating any sort of a benefit in your livelihood. It's just making you look like somebody. It's
No,
not giving
yeah,
you
I'm
any
I'm gonna
character.
eat like him. I'm gonna sit like him. I'm gonna do this like him, shower like him.
Yeah.
I even was debating with the guy. I told you I was out in Toronto doing some street preaching, and
Mhm.
this guy, he maybe looked like Pakistani or something like that. He was telling me how, I was just saying the Quran is complete, it's clear, we can follow it, it has the full guidance. And he was trying to tell me, oh, but the Quran doesn't tell us how to wash ourselves. And I was saying, what are you talking about? Wudu? God tells us how to wash to the elbows, to
Mhm.
purify ourselves. And he said, no, no, but it doesn't tell us like how, basically how to shower, like hygienic wash. We need to know how Muhammad did this and that. We need to know how Muhammad sat, how he ate, how he did, he washed himself. And I'm just thinking, why this fixation so much on this man? We
Mhm.
love him, we
Mhm.
respect him, of course, but why do you care about how he washed himself and how he sat and how he ate?
Because they have this wrong interpretation of the word in it, that to obey the messenger, obey the obey nahi, obey God and obey the messenger. So
Yeah,
they think the message is something other than the Quran. And
yeah. Well, it says obey the messenger. That means to obey the message, which is the Quran. You know what it
exactly.
doesn't say? It doesn't say tabi al Bukhari. It doesn't say obey Bukhari.
Yeah, exactly. And bro, Igor pointed something amazing. He was like, Bukhari, Nawawi, and Nisai. These guys who have these books, their
Yep.
translation of these words into English does not fit the era they're existing in. Bukhari means steam engine. Nisai means feminist or feminism. And
Yeah.
Nawawi means nuclear power or nuclear energy.
Nabawi?
Nawavi, not
Oh, no.
Nabavi.
Oh.
An-Nawawi.
Oh,
There's a guy
Nabawi.
a
Yeah,
scholar.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Nabawi. Yeah.
So that means nuclear power or
Nuclear.
atomic power.
No, that when he said that, I was wondering about that because if did they have steam engines back in their day? How did they have these concepts?
In the 8th
Where
century.
I want to know where does he get that from? That Bukhari means steam engine and okay,
Well,
Nisa'i means okay,
this
female
is in
Nisa.
Learn Arabic or something, that book, that website. Learn Arabic or Speak Arabic
Learn
dot com.
Arabic, speak Arabic.
Yeah, there's a website, and
Yep.
it gives you a lot of roots of things. Although I personally haven't checked this on ChatGPT, because on ChatGPT I've tamed it so much that I'm like, if I write a word, just find me hundreds of comparisons. And bro, you will be surprised. Like in Urdu, we
Yep.
call pineapple ananas.
Ananas. Yeah.
In Russian, we call it ananas as well. But in Urdu and Russian, there's no any other word out of the thousands that match except the ananas.
I'm
So I
sure.
was
I'm sure you might find more that even match because remember, I think all
might
languages
be,
are
yeah.
related deep down.
But I've heard a lot of, like, I've been friends with Russians in it, so I keep hearing them. No word matches except like that. But in Romania, sorry, Romanian language, they say a lot of words are similar. Like when they say tu means you. We say tu as well in
Yeah.
Hindi
Tum.
and Urdu. Yeah, so there's a lot of words that match.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, so
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
maybe
Tu, and then in yeah, French too.
two, yeah, two,
Two.
yeah,
Yeah.
even in English.
Yep.
But then I was thinking maybe the first pineapple arrived to Pakistan or that region from there, and they said this is ananas, and they said okay, ananas. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And they never had a word for it because it never grows there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you do get that certain words or certain things that are not native to a nation and then they get brought there and they
Mm.
just get called that. So I mean, the word for internet in Urdu is internet because they didn't have
Yeah,
any concept of
L-
that,
even
right?
chocolate, even
Chocolate,
hospital they call it haspatal.
hospital, or yeah,
Yeah,
it'll just be that word but with an accent. Avocado, avocado,
yeah, exactly, exactly,
right?
exactly.
But then there's some words that I'm surprised to see the relation between these. Like I was just thinking of, so you know the name Peter, it comes from the word rock.
Stone.
Peter, Petros, Petra. You know, it
Yeah,
says in the gospel,
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
you're the rock upon which I build my church. Peter, Petra. Then in our language, Pattar.
Patthar. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. So yeah, they're all. So what it means is that the main origins or the main first initial tribes were the same, and from there more kids went to other regions, fought wars,
yeah.
mixed
They
up.
spread around the world, and
Yeah,
that's why God says in the Quran, we originally made you one community,
yeah,
but
and
then
made nation.
you only differed after knowledge came to you. And then God also says as well that in your tongues and your hues is a proof of God. But
It's a
we were
sign. Yeah,
originally one community under Adam,
yeah,
our father, and
yeah.
then we split around. But this remnant knowledge is there. Peter, Petros, Pattara.
Yeah.
We all have a common heritage.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is your take on like the World Economic Forum?
Well, I think that they're another arm of the New World Order.
Yeah, but
Pretty
they're
much,
coming soon. That's
uh,
the part of the 15-minute cities as well.
yeah, all of these international, pan international companies and organizations, that's your New World Order right there. You can call World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, UNESCO,
Yeah.
all these types of groups, even
Black Rock.
yeah, international companies as well, BlackRock, these things like that. That's your, those are your real government.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So in the next 2 3 years, how do you see your country going? Where do you think it's going? I know it's going in a weird place, but what do you think, like economically?
Okay, Canada is essentially, you guys can watch videos of this online. Many people have documented this in a very compelling way. Canada is almost regressing down into a third world country. The expenses here are just unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. It's impossible for the Gen Z, any average person,
Yeah,
born and raised
yeah.
maybe under under 30, to be able to get a house as a regular person, just getting your own regular place, even affording rent in an apartment, it's like a luxury now. And there's no jobs available because again they keep importing in all these Indians who are taking the
Mhm.
jobs cheap, and they're just working and working. They'll take the crappiest hours, no overtime pay for them, no rights, no benefits, no packages. It's just easier to hire these foreign workers. It's cheaper for companies than to hire a Canadian citizen like me. So we are regressing into like a third world country, economically speaking.
That's the well, a lot. They keep saying Britain, well, Britain has fallen according to a lot of the English people, and I see a lot of videos about areas, bro. They are in terrible conditions, and the people they're addicted to drugs. They're
Oh
hooligans,
man.
vandalism.
Oh, the drug problem in Canada. Our streets are run by opioids and fentanyl.
Oh shit, fentanyl as
You,
well.
yeah. Oh my gosh. If you go down the streets of, you can just type it up online. You can see places like Vancouver, the downtown inner cities of Vancouver. What you're seeing there, it it literally looks like a World War III Book of Revelation apocalypse kind of scenario. The
Wow.
buildings are falling apart. There are people so addicted on drugs they're walking around
Like
like
zombies.
zombies. It's like something out of the Book of Daniel that you're seeing.
Have you
End of
seen
world kind of stuff.
What's happened to Philadelphia? Is it like that?
Yeah, I think so as well. Detroit is similar as well. It's just these inner city neighborhoods in the big cities. They're, especially Canada. They're run by drugs, and the government promotes it. They
Yeah,
give,
because Jason Trudeau said there's no prosecution anymore, is it?
no,
In
no,
some
they
areas.
not just prosecution. The government gives the drugs to the people. The
Oh my,
government gives the drugs.
oh
In
my God.
Canada, that's what they do. So the idea of this government is that, okay, we have a big problem with these druggies in our streets. Okay, fine. How about instead of trying to clean these people up or mopping our streets up of these crazy people, how about instead we actually give them the drugs? So if they get these drugs on the streets, it could be mixed with all kinds of stuff, and they may easily overdose. So you know what? We'll
Oh,
give them a steady dose of the clean version of these things. That's what our
oh,
government is
just
doing.
like methadone.
Yeah, and it's making things way worse. You see people lined up behind these clinics ready to get their dose of the pure stuff.
Of course, because okay, in the UK, I've back in the day, I've like roamed around with a lot of people homeless and stuff, and I used to
Yeah.
observe them what they do, right? So when people are on these substances, the problem is that when you take a substance of that category, like for instance heroin or opium, it instantly changes your mind reference of the reality, and it'll
Yeah.
take you to like a fake kind of a place. In
Yeah.
order to keep achieving that, right? You in the starting, it's just about achieving that. They keep doing it. After like a week, then it's not about achieving that. It's about functioning,
Yeah.
about how to
Yeah,
function.
it's
So
now it's not you're great and high now. Now it's your baseline.
yeah,
To get back
bro.
to your baseline, you need to dose.
Exactly. In when I was living in Reading, there was a big problem over there, and I had like the area I was living, the next area there was all hoods, and a lot of people used to come over there doing heroin and stuff. I had a lot of fights with them, and there was two women, and I used to ask them, "You look perfectly all right." One of them had two kids. She was like, taking them to school and everything, but she was doing her crack. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Why are you doing this?" So she was like, what else do we have to do in life? Because
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
have anything.
Because they're broken and they're living in a society which is essentially meaningless. They don't know their creator. They don't know their purpose. The society tries to hide all of that stuff from you,
Yeah.
and you're just caught in this consumerist, materialist mess, and it's just shattering your mind and soul. You feel unfulfilled, and you start turning to drugs. This has gotten the drug problem. It's partly to do with how the government is handling it. They're giving these druggies their doses, and on top of that, it's the culture as well, where it's so spiritually devoid of any meaning that people are just turning to these things to cope. It's a coping mechanism. I remember one time when I was in Calgary, I told you I was working in that menswear store. I
Mhm.
was taking the subway, not the subway, the train on the way home. I was sitting on the train, and actually, no, it wasn't at work. It was after a street preaching session. I was taking the train on the way home, and I saw a guy literally in front of me, right in
Mhm.
front of me. I'm on this side of the seat, he's on the other side. He has a tinfoil tray in front of him and white powder, and he's cooking it up on the train, and he does this, and he's
Oh my
done. He's
God.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
all about it. Yeah.
this stuff is everywhere, man.
That's so bad, bro. When you were talking to Igor, you talk about spirit blockers. Remember?
Spirit blockers.
You were like these chemicals and all these things. They're like
Oh,
spirit blockers. They shut the place where you can access God from.
yeah, the kind of higher frequency, higher mentality thinking, spiritual, heavenly thinking, certain chemicals in the foods and the
Yeah.
drugs, and even
Yeah.
certain kinds of entertainment and music, it blocks off your spiritual receptors.
Bro, I knew this thing for 3 4 years. Didn't know what to call them. This is exactly what it is. Like when people, okay, in I don't know, but is Canada damp?
Damp?
As in, like there's a lot of moisture,
Yeah, it's at least where I am in southern Ontario, it's very humid.
very humid, right? So in
Yeah.
the hot days, it gets roasting inside, and you have
Yeah.
to open the
It's a
window.
sweat
And
box. It's a sweat. It's almost tropical like.
so in your, I don't know how you got house is set up. So do you guys have got the washing machines right next to the kitchen or in the kitchen?
Not in the kitchen, no.
Okay, is it outside in a different
They're
section, right?
usually in a basement.
Okay, that's good because in the UK, the problem is all these washing machines are in the kitchen, right? So
Yeah.
when they're washing their clothes with these spirit blocking chemicals, right? It's
Hmm.
going in the food. It's just staying lingering in the air because when there's a lot of moisture, the air is thick and they're literally just like hovering on the water vapors everywhere.
Yeah.
So it becomes really like, and I'm allergic to all of this. So what I do is you just take like some water, not
Yeah.
tap water, some mineral water, add maybe lavender or something like some herb that might smell nice, and add some vinegar on top.
I was just gonna say I wash with vinegar.
Yeah.
I don't use commercial detergents.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's the best. That's the
Yeah.
best.
Because that stuff sticks on your skin when you use it to wash your clothes, and the clothes are on your skin. I mean, you're washing your underwear with that stuff. So imagine wrapping your manhood in
Yeah.
synthetic industrial
Yeah.
detergents.
Yeah.
That's a
No,
bad
let,
idea.
let me tell you another thing about this.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we came up to this. Okay, basically, there's a book called The Disappearing Man. I forgot the author's name. And the disappearing man speaks about the male hormone disappearing in the past 20, 30 decades, or
Yeah.
20, 30 years and 2, 3 decades. So plastic is the main reason why a lot of Viagra is pumped up. Also, when I do my detoxes, there's one tea I make which is just to remove these cleaning chemicals and chemical byproducts. When two chemicals are added, made a compound,
Yeah.
there's always a result, and then there's a bad result, like a side thing, the waste product, right?
Yeah.
So that thing takes that out as well. So I've noticed those herbs are basically uh, affecting the energy area of under the belly button and above your genitals, that area, the sacral area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've noticed when I drink those teas, it clears that area. So these chemicals are going getting stuck in that area, and that's why everybody's too hyped up sexual all the time. In the
Mm.
past 20 years, I've noticed sexuality and everything. They came up with some weird research. It's like, oh, man thinks about sex every 6 seconds. I was like, what, are we fucking perverted or something? We
Is
have to
that
think about.
that's abnormal.
Yeah, because
And
that's what they're saying in science, that, oh, man thinks about sex every 6 seconds. No,
you should
I don't
be no,
disagree.
I think and it's normal for a man to be thinking about God every 6 seconds.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. So, but if you've got all those chemicals there and your chakras are blocked and you're not connecting with the higher frequencies of the divine,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, these things they lower you, they degrade you, they so with those spiritual receptors, God has given us spiritual receptors, but in order to unclog them, you have to
Yeah.
eat good food, go outside in nature, get some exercise outside, walk around, pray, read scripture, and you will notice over time as you defrag and unclog those spiritual receptors, you start getting more sensitive to the subtleties of creation. You appreciate the little things in life. You let's say you I'm walking down the street and I see a tree and there's a maple leaf on there and I just notice this maple leaf looks particularly beautiful and I say thank you God for making this beautiful maple leaf. I know it sounds very poetic and maybe cringe to some people, but it really you start to notice the beauty and majesty of creation and you remember your creator and the divine. But that comes only after you clean out the
Yeah,
receptors.
exactly, exactly. Okay, tell me something about like what kind of diet do you eat?
So mainly what I eat is I focus on animal products, so
Mhm.
ground beef, chicken. Mainly I like to eat ground beef and that kind of thing, and I just avoid any processed foods, any seed oils. Uh, I eat grains every now and then if it's good quality grains, but it's hard to find good quality grains. So,
Yeah.
but you can get rice and that's okay. But yeah, I eat mainly I stick to fruits, meats, animal products, full fat milk. That's the bulk of my diet.
Any
Fasting throughout the
supplements?
day. What was that?
Any supplements?
No supplements, nothing. No,
Mashallah.
no potions and powders and no, nothing like that.
So how's the sun, the frequency of the sun in your area?
Sun is good. We get a lot of sunlight here. A lot of
Okay.
sunlight. It's nice. And one thing I want to say about these, so people will take protein powders, they'll take this powder, that powder, these pills. When you take the nutrients and you separate them from the food and you
Yeah.
just make them
Yeah.
powder form, your body's not able to absorb them properly. It just goes in and out. I was on protein powder when I was young, maybe 14 years old, and I just started working out, going to the gym. And I essentially came up with a name for this stuff. I call it constipation powder because that's really what protein powder is. It doesn't go through you properly.
Yeah. And then after some time, clumps come out.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
So
so then
basically, absorption.
before you know it, I'm struggling on the toilet more than in my gym sessions, and that's not normal. So then I just gave up all this stuff completely.
That's good. So basically, absorption has to be good.
Yeah, you absorb it when it's in the food, not
Mhm.
when you take the nutrient out and you denature it. You
Yeah, yeah,
denature it by removing it from the organism in which it was found.
yeah. These industries, they just keep isolating compound some elements and they'll bottle them.
This is not how the
Yeah,
ancients viewed food. People nowadays they view food as numbers. 30 grams of vitamin A and 360 calories. This is not how they viewed food in the past. They viewed food as okay,
yeah,
one bowl of rice.
yeah.
Uh,
One
you know,
steak.
yeah, one steak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two carrots.
yeah, some cow foot soup or whatever.
Yeah,
That's how they viewed it,
true.
right?
True. So you're not into vegetables at all. A bit.
Nah, they're trash. Vegetables are
Uh,
trash. Like, I mean, remember, many things people think are vegetables are not vegetables. So
No, yeah, yeah,
squash is
because
not a
they've been changed.
vegetable.
The real,
Squash is a fruit.
yeah, the real thing in the forest is very different than what we have here. Like the carrots, the broccoli, they're entirely different.
Yeah, but squash, eggplant, these things are fruit. When I say vegetables are
Yes.
trash, I'm talking about leafy greens. I don't think we need to eat that stuff. No. Leafy green vegetables like kale, spinach,
Yeah.
broccoli. If this stuff was really good for you, people say, that's the superfood. That's what's going to
Yeah.
give you strength.
Yeah.
You have this nonsense, I think, of Popeyes. He would eat the spinach and then his arm would just come up to here.
So
This is all propaganda because if
that's what they did. That's what they
this
did.
if the greeds that's not how Popeye got his jacked arms. I promise you that.
True.
But if these things were really good for you and they try to make it that's the bulk of the nutrition. Superfood is not organic red meat. It's
Yeah.
greens. I mean, there's plenty of greens outside. Why don't you go and eat them? There's grass. There's leaves.
You can't digest those.
Yeah, what they've done is they've taken certain greens like kale,
Yeah.
which is a little easier to digest, but still hard to digest, and they say that's a superfood. And that's ridiculous. Even if you look the way God has put it in nature, when something is green, usually,
Mm.
I'm not talking avocados. Avocado is different, it's not leafy. But when something is green, it's not ready to be eaten. So if you think of a banana, bananas are green, they're not ready to be eaten. But when they get yellow and they look good, then they're ready to be eaten. You see that they change in color. Peppers are green, then they turn red, then they're ready to be
Yeah,
eaten.
and yellow and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. And I was gonna say
But
something
but,
about.
but one more thing,
No, go
like
ahead.
for example, somebody's hit by like a strong pathogen, like a disease, like a fatal bug.
Yeah.
So then they require some kind of like bug killing chemicals. Like meat don't have those.
What do you mean bug killing?
Like
Like,
like for example, somebody got Epstein-Barr virus for level 4 or something, and they require a lot of B12. For that, they need meat. But if
yeah.
they need something to kill the virus, like the
Well, I,
pathogen
I
that's
don't I
creating the
don't know how
problem.
much I believe in the whole thing that viruses are alive and you need to kill them. My God knows best, but my personal understanding is that regarding human health, there's no cure for sickness. The cure doesn't exist. Whether you're talking about pharmaceuticals, which is
Yeah, it's like
completely
daily
killing you,
maintenance, basically.
yeah,
Daily
either
maintenance is the right
pharmaceuticals
thing. Yeah.
or even herbal stuff, herbal teas. I don't think there's any such thing as a cure. Whenever a toxin enters the body knows how to get rid of it. The body is God has made it. The cure is in you. It's going to try to get rid of it. All you need to do is give your body the best nutrients and environment to make it as easy
Yes.
as possible for it to do its
For
job.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't
That's
believe
true.
in the cure is outside. It's here. It's just making
Yeah.
this as strong as possible.
But what about the modern chemicals and the paints and this, which the liver has no idea. The liver's like, oh, that's a UFO that came in. Lock it up.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about those? What about those?
Those things, I mean, it's hard to escape from it all.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by synthetic paints and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff.
exactly. You're
All
sitting
we
on a
can do,
sofa. That's whenever you sit on the cushion, something comes out all the
yeah,
time.
you're breathing in all this
Yeah,
polyester. All we can do is pray to God, ask Him to help us out, and do our best we can in our environment. Do the best. It's
exactly.
not a zero sum game, it's impossible. We live in a perverted system, but we try our best, and God takes care of everything after that. And one thing I wanted to say regarding the leafy green vegetables,
Yeah.
if you notice, so we can't eat these things because they're so fibrous and they're not good for us. I mean, they're not the primary source of our nutrition. And you'll see animals that are supposed to eat these foods, it's good for them, are they have four stomachs. We only have one because
Oh,
because
powerful, powerful.
it's so hard to process this stuff in the tummy. It's so difficult. But God has given goats and lambs and sheep and cows four stomachs, so they have to overly process it over and over, and then it works out for them. And another thing you'll notice, because there's not much nutrients in leafy greens, these animals have to eat all
All
day
day,
long. They're eating and
all day.
pooing and eating and pooing. We can't eat all day long. That's not normal for us. Nor do we have four stomachs. So we have to eat that steak. That's like the most condensed form of nutrition. And
Very true.
one argument these people will put forward is they'll say, "Oh, well, you don't have teeth like a tiger, and how come you're supposed to eat meat? Your teeth are sorry, you're supposed to eat leaves because your teeth are similar to those animals like lambs and sheep's or whatever." That's not true.
You
The,
got
the,
both.
Well,
Yeah, bro.
the reason why we don't have big fangs like a
Yeah,
tiger
yeah, yeah.
is not because we're not supposed to eat meat. We know we're supposed to eat meat because we have one stomach. Every animal that eats meat has one stomach. Every animal that eats vegetation has multiple. The reason why we don't have saber teeth like them is we don't hunt with our teeth.
Yeah, we
We
don't kill
hunt with
them.
we hunt with our hands and with our tools.
Yeah,
That's their only weapon. A tiger, it has to
true.
lock its jaws on something, but we don't use our teeth to hunt. So that's
Exactly.
why God didn't give us teeth like them. But really, if you want to know what our diet's supposed to be, look at our insides, our stomach.
SubhanAllah, brother, this one point that you just said to me in 6 years of my whole health journey, I never came across this point that the herbivores have got multiple stomachs and meat eaters got one. And that's very true. I didn't think like that ever because you're right. If that thing is going processing in different facilities
They need
and
four processing facilities because it's so hard to process and it's so low in nutrients, but it's good for them. But it's so low in nutrients, they have to eat
yeah,
all day to get their basic needs.
yeah, and also I've heard that for like diabetes and cancer and gut problems, people juice vegetables. They don't eat them. They juice a ton of them with fruits and they drink that.
Yes.
Yeah, to make stomach acid in it to keep digesting.
It's awful. I used to drink these juiced vegetables thinking they're healthy, but they ruin your experience on the toilet. If you listen, if you really think this stuff is healthy that you're supposed
Yeah,
to eat greens,
yeah,
okay, just make one green smoothie and see how you feel after it. You're not going to feel good. Just go ahead and try it out if you
yeah,
want.
exactly. No, you're right. You're right because all of these things have got different signature of energy,
Yeah.
and I've lived a proper raw vegetable diet. I've done that for like a year and stuff. And when I ate beef after that first time, right, I felt like I'm tripping.
You
I'm
felt like
serious.
you like came
I
back to
felt like
life
I'm
from your grave.
euphoric. I went outside, had a nice time, and came back. I'm like, wow, what's this? Felt like I've drank or something. I'm like, then I asked mom, I'm like, is this the right meat? She's like, yeah, we got it from the beef from the farm. I'm like, "Oh, this is amazing. I'll cook tomorrow as well." So yeah, I saw the difference instantly, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you look just use your mind, use your brain out in nature. When you look around, you see the trees, what looks like the most appetizing in we believe this world was created in a smart way by God. When I look at a banana tree or whatever other tree, and what looks like the most appealing thing that I need to eat? What looks like was made for me to eat? That
Mm-hmm.
bright yellow, sweet, yummy looking banana or the leaves and bark and
Mm,
right?
yep,
It
yep,
just
yeah.
use your brain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Use your
exactly.
eyes. Don't follow these nonsense scientists. Use your eyes. And this goes to the flat earth and every other thing that we talk about.
Exactly, because when you start looking for the reality, things will start popping in front of you
That's how it is.
automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part was really interesting because
Yeah.
I never thought like that. Because in the past 20 years, they've supported the vegan and all of that stuff. And
Big time.
even Igor said it in his live stream. He said the Shias, they don't allow you to be vegan at all. In
Oh yeah,
in
they've
in
put
Shi-
on they've actually delivered fatwas against veganism.
yeah, in
Yeah.
Shiaism, it's disallowed. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Because there's another reason as well. Because if they don't have any blood, how will they take out blood every year?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
even the Quran it says of the cattle you eat. God tells you you eat from these.
Yes,
This is
yes,
what your
yes,
food is,
yes.
right?
Very.
And what was I gonna say? There was something on my mind
What about
about
yogurt? Yogurt.
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 Yogurt's great. Milk
Yeah.
products,
Yeah.
butter, ghee is fantastic. Yogurt, yeah. Animal products. God says in the animals there are many benefits for you. God made
Yes.
them serviceable to us. They turn into clothes for us. They give us delicious meat. They give us butter and ghee and yogurt and milk and all kinds of stuff. You know what God has done by Him making these cows. You can see He has made pretty much machines
Mm,
that take all of this unedible plant matter, all this grass that we can't eat, and they convert it into animal proteins for us and animal
exactly.
fats.
Amazing stuff.
And we live in a symbiotic relationship. Okay,
Yeah.
look at there's tons of grass around me. I
Yeah.
can't eat this stuff, but you like that stuff, and I like your milk, so convert that for me.
Yes, something amazing. I remember B17, vitamin B17 is
Yeah,
only found in grass and we can't have it.
yeah,
We can have it only through the animal products, through
yeah.
the cow's milk and the goat's milk and whatever.
And God has put it in your just eyes and feeling even. What to a human being in his natural fitra, his natural state, looks more appealing, a bowl of leaves or a steaming hot steak? What makes your mouth water?
Yeah, or berries, some
But but
strawberries and stuff.
but what makes the cow's mouth water? It's the complete
It's,
opposite.
it's,
He
it's the
the
opposite,
grass
yeah.
makes his mouth water, but if you put some chicken in front of him, he's not even going to be interested in that.
Of course. Very
It's
true.
it's it's all what's natural. God put it in you.
So, do you guys have access to organic stuff, like organic meat and stuff?
Yeah, that's the tough part. Unfortunately,
I,
we do buy from the superstore, but God willing, we're looking around and seeing where we can find a butcher that can give us something good.
because over here we have there's very less though, but some halal places that are farmed organic, free range pasture. So like the cows are eating grass and stuff, and they do halal.
Yeah,
But it's quite expensive. I'm not gonna lie. If
yeah.
you're a regular meat eater, if you eat four times meat in this price on the regular thing, you might eat one time or two times a
But
week
one
on
time
this.
you'll eat, but it'll be better quality overall.
Bro, my mom was cooking it. I smelled it. I was like, Mom, what are you cooking? And she's like, That's beef. I'm like, Are you serious? And then when I tasted it, I was like, First time I'm having this in my life, maybe. It was Angus beef,
Yep.
but like the normal stuff is not like it, bro, at
No,
all. People are
no.
like, people,
You you know what? My wife, she would make me steaks every now and then, and she always found that no matter how she cooked it, it would always be rubbery and chewy. The steak, she could never cook it right, and she was beating herself up. She's saying, "What? Am I just a bad cook?" And I said, "No, my dear, you're a fantastic cook."
yeah, because the
And
thing,
really, the issue is the meat.
yeah,
If you're
they,
buying the meat from Walmart, from a superstore, yeah, that's the problem. Doesn't matter what you do, that meat at the by the end of the cooking process is going to be like a hockey puck,
of
okay?
course, yeah,
Like,
exactly, exactly.
or it's going to taste like a leather glove. But if you look at the high grade meats, prime grade,
Yeah,
wagyu,
yeah, yeah.
when you can't mess it up when you cook it. No matter how you cook it, it turns out perfect.
Amazing. It sizzles. It's got those fats that, like, if sometimes you go for a barbecue, like a camping trip, like a bush, like a bush thing. Just
Bushcrafting,
go
yeah,
there, yeah, go there, cook that. It's amazing.
yeah,
But it might attract some bears and stuff. Watch out for
yeah.
that.
They want that high quality stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. In Canada, do you guys have you got guys got moose there?
Yeah, we got moose.
So have you ever eaten that?
Have I eaten
Because
moose?
people in America eat
I have
moose.
eaten moose, yeah, because my uncle. Now that I remember, he's a hunter, and I was. Did he get deer or moose? He got moose that time. He made a moose curry, moose masala.
Nice. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
how does it taste? Is it like, have you ever eaten camel?
Never eaten camel. No,
Okay, people tell me camel's a bit salty-ish, even the milk's salty-ish.
I like that though. I love salty food. Salt,
Yeah,
salt is good for you. Don't be afraid of the sodium.
yeah, that's true, that's true. Now, I'd recommend people stay away from the table salt that they sell in the
Don't
shop.
get your white table salt. Get some
Uh-uh.
pink Himalayan salt
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get some,
yeah. That's the best. Or sea salt.
yeah, some natural sea
Yeah,
salt. And God made. There's a reason why God put salt all over this earth. There's like millions of pounds of this stuff everywhere. It's everywhere. It's so cheap and easy to find
true.
because we're supposed to put it on our food, and it tastes good.
Do you guys have got a big, mashallah, growing community of Quran alone people there?
I've got a lot of people coming out here in Southern Ontario. I've got quite a few. Southern Ontario and surrounding area, Montreal, various places.
Mashallah, that's good. Because in the UK, I haven't face to face found anybody till now.
Yeah,
And but I know there's like one guy miles away, one guy miles away like that. In the
yeah.
UK, it's very weird. So
The urban planning.
well, yeah, it's because of that. It's because of
Yeah.
that. It's because of how these every area looks same. If you go from one area, every high street is same, every city looks same, every all the houses are same, even the way the houses are made inside, the way they put the floors and stuff, everything's same. It's like a
It's the
duplicate.
same in Canada. Same thing.
So what is this? What is this? Like when they call it like globalization, that
It's
they
just
like
it's copy and paste urban planning. Every city you go to in Canada, it all looks the same.
in
These
Canada you have
big
high
box
streets?
stores. Say that
Do,
again.
do you have high streets?
High streets.
As in, like the high street is a concept that in an area there'll be a high street which will have all the shops and the administration, whatever.
No, it's really this is one of my big problems with Canada and America is We don't have these centers like that, high streets. Everything is so far apart, and you're forced to use a car.
Oh,
Everything is car dependent, and this is something that the left wingers, Democrats, socialist people, they point out correctly. There's a big problem with Canadian and American and Australian cities. Everything is made so far apart, so car dependent, and it's just awful urban planning.
yeah, it's like kind of like when if you like if you don't have a car and you're stuck, then you're stuck.
You're stuck, and especially Canada, because in America, at least there's some states you can go which are decently warm, Florida. But
Yeah.
Canada, everywhere here is cold, and everything is so far apart, and everything needs a car. And cars and insurance and gas is so expensive. It's quite unlivable.
Yeah, exactly. That situation in the UK is the same almost right now.
Yeah,
People, that's why these guys are riling up. They're saying that look, we don't have like we were homeless people in the cold weathers. They're like rough sleeping on the streets. Now these other people are coming on the boats. You have no idea who they are actually, and you're giving them our resources, and you're making them stay in hotels. And per day they're paying like millions or something. They're paying, I don't know, I'm not sure millions, but they're paying a lot per day
yeah,
for all of those people. So that's why they riled up today, bro. I saw a video.
hmm,
They had a fire extinguishers,
yeah.
and they were like firing them on the police, and the police were shielding themselves. And then
Who
they
the whites?
yes, and then they started picking up chairs and they were stomping them on them, and then they
Wow.
took up pick up a big bin and burned that.
Why,
And
wait, why were they doing that though?
right outside now there's these places called immigrant hotels, right? So there's
Oh, okay.
immigrants inside house inside.
And the
They
police were protecting them.
Yeah, they rile now they were like around maybe 150, 200 people, and there may be 10 police officers, and they were
Wow.
getting cornered proper like, and these white like whoever, I'm sure civilized people are not into any of this. It's all these freeloaders, government benefit takers.
Yeah.
Let me go drink that can here, let me go sniff that line here, and those kind of people, they're like, oh, we gotta rile, oh, we gotta go England. All of a
Yeah.
sudden they're England, right?
Yeah.
Another moment when they don't have their bills paid or they don't have money, then they're cursing everybody. But now then they're like, oh, England, we gotta unite. Another thing they did that was quite funny, but I was like, okay, good for you guys. The Irish Christians,
Yeah.
the Catholics, and the Protestants shook hands for the first time in history yesterday. They're like, oh, we are
Oh
against these
yeah, because
Muslims together.
we're seeing a uniting of the white Christian West for wartime. I'm telling you, that's what's going on. What did Donald Trump say? He said this recently that he said, "I don't care, Donald Trump claims to be Protestant or Presbyterian. That's Protestant,
Mhm. Yeah,
and he
yeah.
said, "I don't care, Catholic, Protestant. We Christians, we need to unite. We need to get together." And you even have guys like VaticanCatholic.com, the most I should say, scholarly presentation of traditional Catholicism in the world. Catholic, open Catholic. He's supporting Protestant Trump, Presbyterian Trump. We're seeing a uniting of all the Christian groups for a big army.
Yeah, yeah, and it was maybe last year that I saw a documentary of, I forgot the group's name, but they were like calling themselves uh, the Al Qaeda or the ISIS of Christianity.
Yeah.
I don't know what that group's name is, but they formed something in America.
Yeah, some militant Christian group, violent.
How do you define this term left wing, right wing? Because for me, it's so ever changing kind of a thing.
Yeah,
What is it?
it's
What is
hard to
it?
define because it changes. I mean, what was considered left wing years ago is now considered right wing.
Right wing now.
If I had to really define it, though, I mean they're both two wings of the same bird, but left wings they're into pretty much they're big on victimhood, they're big on complaining, blaming people, and they're big on sexual deviancy. That's the main thing about them.
Woke. The
Yeah,
woke
woke,
people are left.
LTGB type of stuff.
They're
And
leftists.
the right wingers, they're people who are a little more resistant to that kind of thing.
So in this case, they kept on saying, "Oh, it's the far right that did all these riots and stuff."
Yeah, and I would say really uh, to quote Mark Passio, which is really correct what he said is the left wing, they're mommy issues, and the right wing, they're people with daddy issues. Because if you think about, no, I'm not joking with you. Because if you look, what does the left wing see government as? They want all kinds of social programs and
Yep.
tax and welfare and care. These people, most of them have mommy issues because they think government is mommy. Oh, it should nurture
Yeah,
and love
nurture us,
and
care
care
us.
for us, and it cares about our feelings and our emotions. And
Mm.
these right wingers, they got daddy issues. What does government have to be? We got to have a big, strong government like a dad, and we're gonna
Yeah,
declare war with the East, and a big, strong
yeah,
military. Government's
yeah.
my daddy. Donald Trump's. It's mommy and daddy issues fundamentally.
Very well explained, brother. I'm serious. Because literally, this is how it is. All the subcategories fall under these. Like right now, these reformists are the right. They're like, oh no, no, we can't tolerate anymore. It's all these people. When in World War II, all their men died. They started importing men from India, from Pakistan. All the builder, the construction people over here mostly,
Yeah.
they're Sikh Indians.
That's the same thing in Canada. Every sick people, they're constructing all the buildings. You see, every time I see people on top of buildings constructing, they always have a pug on their head, this turban
Yeah.
on their head. And I'll tell you, sick people in Canada, they own the trucking industry. They completely own it. They're all
Wow.
truckers everywhere. They have all the companies. Yeah.
Not
Like,
here because not over here like the Eastern Europeans they do the trucking mostly.
yeah,
But
Ukrainians?
Indians, the Sikhs, they do the construction. All the construction and all the, for example, it's like some kind of a Asian, non-English sort of a wedding scenario. Could
Yeah,
be anything, Muslim, Sikh, Hindu, whatever. They'll arrange all of that.
yeah,
They didn't let the Pakistanis or the Bengalis even come close to it. They're like, back off. We'll take over all of that.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, they've taken over that. But then again, like when back in the day I was in the catering industry, I found out that just the same modern slavery system. When they'll get people that are from abroad, they're either their students, they're trying to pay their tuition fee, or they're trying to pay their rent, or they're trying to send money back home. They'll work there. They'll work for 1 2 months without a salary. They'll get all paid at the end of 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And but if there's these white people, there's people that belong here, okay? When they work, even 1 minute goes above their time to finish, they're just gonna take the apron off, whatever. They're like, "Oh, I'm going."
Yeah,
Even the boss says this, that, they're like, "Please, f off. We can't. We're not responsible."
yeah.
But but if they don't have these Asians, they will never be able to provide the services and that top-notch rankings ever.
Again, yeah, what they've done is they've employed a cheap working class. It's literally modern slavery. You're bringing these people over for no other reason other than working the most menial jobs with no rights, no nothing at all. That's what it is, and it's just again, it's cheaper for these companies and easier to hire them. They're not going to complain. They're not going to fight for any rights because they don't have any. They don't get any overtime pay. They work the worst shifts possible. They take the most crap from their bosses. They're the most compliant, so they just go with them. Canada has a big problem with that. It's very, very hard to find a job out here just
My
because
God.
they're hiring all this foreign labor.
My friend is from Saskatoon, and a white guy. I was speaking to him, and he was voicing his opinions about this. He was like, "Man, I'm really sorry, you're Asian, but these Indians over here, they're like, when I go to some stores, they're like, giving me weird looks, and they're even talking something, saying something in their language." I'm like, it's not necessary they're saying something to you, but they might be kind of, gossiping about something
Yeah,
related to that area or something.
every store in Canada, any kind of, I guess your stores are different, but we have Walmart and restaurants,
Yeah.
Walmart, Tim Hortons, Wendy's, these types of places. Any low level job or place you go to, any restaurant, you see nothing but Indian workers. It's all Indian and Filipino, but it's like maybe for every 10 Indians, there's like one or two Filipinos and Filipinas,
Yeah, exactly,
and no
exactly.
no no white Canadians working.
Like over here, there's some areas like in London. There's two areas. One is Southall, and one area Southall is in the west, and one is called Green Street. That's in the east. So
Yeah,
Green Street is full Pakistan, Pakistan. You'll see all Pakistan sort of people. Yeah.
yeah,
But when you go to Southall, you'll see all Indians. You see Pakistani as well, but there's a lot of big mandirs, big gurdwaras.
yeah.
So
Punjabi
and
Sikh everywhere.
you won't see any white person. Even the
Yeah.
police over there is Asians.
Yeah, you got the same thing in Canada. Full areas in Calgary. There are certain areas where all you'll see is Punjabi Sikh people. There's an area called McKnight in Calgary. You can go days without seeing a single white person. There are other areas. All you see are these Habesha, Ethiopian, Eritrean people. No white people. They've taken over Calgary completely.
Yeah, so that's why somebody who was born in these countries and they grew up and they're like, my God, this country, we gotta take it back.
Yeah, I can again understand the feeling, but what I don't like is these people start getting racist about it. I don't have a racist bone in my body. I love any race who loves God, right? Pakistani, Indian, white, black, doesn't matter to me. If you love God, I love you. But
Exactly.
they're making it an issue of race. Oh, these effing brown people. The thing that's this is something I was talking about with my wife. The thing that's making you angry is not necessarily that they're brown. It's their different cultures and values that they're bringing, right? If let's put it this way, if that same brown person was born and raised in the UK, he attended the Church of England, he went to school in London, he on weekends he went and got some drinks with the boys at the pub, you would say nothing about him. You would love him. And he has no accent, he speaks normally. It's these people bringing in it's not the race that you have a problem with, it's the values that are different. They're bringing in this Hadithanism, this Hinduism, this Sikhi, and
Yeah,
all that. That's your main issue. Different languages, but if they had the same values and language as you wouldn't care about this.
exactly. Because back in the day, like around 10 years ago, when I was partying and stuff, I had all musician friends, they were all white. I used to go chill with them. Nobody ever said, oh, what are you Pakistani doing here? Because I'm talking like I'm doing
Yeah,
what they're doing, everything.
yeah, and
But
yeah, you even have a little bit of an accent. For me, it was even more. I blended in with them. I was hanging around with whites and blacks. I have
yeah,
no accent at all. I speak like a full Canadian person,
yeah.
and they never even thought anything of it.
Exactly. But as soon as you start bringing in your ideas, which are differing from their,
Then it starts
yeah,
to
exactly, then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna destroy my horizon. I can't
yeah.
let that happen."
It's really again it's not the race thing that's you have a problem with, it's the different ideas. Like for example, if we were to all, let's say everybody who's in this Quran alone network online, we all
Yeah.
were to buy a piece of land and build a nation. Let's say we called it Quranistan. We're the people who believe in the Quran is our culture. This
Mm.
would be a multi-ethnic nation. We'd have whites, blacks, browns, Indians, Pakistanis, all kinds of
Yeah.
people, but we would all be united under the same creed, same ideology. There's so many mixed race marriages in this community, and that's totally fine. But
Yeah.
let's say we had the same nation, Quranistan, and then we had a whole bunch of Indian Hindus being imported over by a corrupt government, and they're building Hindu temples and they're bringing in their idols.
Fight.
Again, we wouldn't hate the Indian, we would hate the Hinduism changing our
Yeah.
Quran culture,
Yeah.
right?
But I'll tell you what will happen exactly. Just like how it happened with Tommy Robinson, the guy, the EDL guy, the patriot.
Yeah,
Actually, he was from Luton, and what I heard that when he was young, he was after some white girl or whatever,
yeah,
and she apparently became Muslim, went away with a Pakistani guy. You can imagine from there on, this whole thing fueled up. And then he saw now Luton is an area you find masjid everywhere,
yeah.
everywhere, Pakistani infested. Uh, so obviously, when then they started having clashes with them, and then he's like, what are these guys about? And then somebody handed him like some very deviant sort of a translation that, oh, look, this God is saying kill an infidel wherever you see them. So they're reading these things out of context in it.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not.
reading like Hilali and Khan, just the worst translations possible.
Hilali and Khan is devious. He's
Yeah,
devious.
those people, Halali and Khan, I'm telling you, they're criminals. They're criminals how they lied about the word of God.
Yeah, bro, in Pakistan, it's so weird. I even heard it from one of these speakers and stuff. There's a guy called Sahil Adim in Pakistan. Yeah, so he's like giving an interview to some guy, and he's like, "Oh, I tell my son, read the translation of Taqi Usmani, like some mufti."
Yeah,
So apparently, they've already decided that who's giving a translation which suits their understanding, their intellect.
mm,
So
yeah,
they're like, this narrative is much better. Oh, I go with this, I'll go with that. But nobody cares actually what Arabic is there, what God is saying in Arabic. The Quran is in Arabic, not the
yeah,
translation. Translation can be changed any
yeah.
day.
That's why I recommend people if they. I know many people they're gonna have to rely on a translation. They don't have any knowledge of the Arabic, So what I would just recommend them to do is, if you see anything weird that sticks out to you as strange, just ignore that part and focus on the general message. Focus on the general message, the general thing it's saying. Stick to that one. Because even if you read Hilali and Khan, the worst translation possible, you still get a general idea of what God is saying, even within that.
A gist of the thing, basically.
Yeah, and a good platform to start yourself on,
Yeah.
right? If you see
Yeah.
something weird like, oh, kill, oh, I don't know, what is it? You know, the part that they try to use in the Quran to justify marrying underage girls. Oh, if they're not menstruating, and then
Oh,
they'll put in
the
the
Nisa
even
part, the Nisa
yeah,
part.
and it's not talking about that. It's obviously talking about women with health problems, and then they'll put a comment underneath for underage girls or whatever. It just ignore that stuff. Ignore that and just focus on the main narrative. Because remember, you're going into deadly territory with a lot of these translations.
Okay, I want to talk to you. I hope you have time
I'm
because
good. Yeah, I'm good on time.
okay, okay. The concept of Quranistan. Okay, for
Yeah,
instance, there is a Quranistan, an island. Okay,
yeah,
and all the Quran people come in there, right?
yeah,
The administrative building or the president White House will be a masjid, but not somewhere where you pray, like congregational prayer, because the masjid word is in the Quran.
yeah,
A masjid is like an administrative building where people come say, "Oh, whoever that's like the manager or the administrator, this is
yeah.
my problem, solve it for me." Or if a traveler comes from some place and he has a masjid where he can go spend the night without, like a lodge, like what do you think? Is a masjid of that sort of a value?
Yeah, but I think it can serve multiple values. A masjid or masajid, a place of
Yeah.
sujood, it can be a place of prayer. It can be a place of congregation. It can be a place of also administrative duties. It can be a place of charity. That's a big one. I
Yeah.
think it can serve many functions. If we had this Quranistan, the masjid, the house of God, it would have to be the cornerstone of the main functions of society if we are going to be a deeply spiritual and faithful society.
Exactly. Everything should be according to the Quran.
Yeah, that's how I see it. And one thing, it's kind of related, kind of not, is I'm actually ashamed of how badly the mosques represent themselves. There are other religions in the world that are almost in some ways, they without even having the Quran in their life, they are more Muslim than even the Muslims themselves in a lot of ways. So like I have been impressed for a long time by six, and it's very clear that Guru Nanak, he obviously was influenced by Quranic Islam.
He was, I
There's
think he
no,
was a Muslim.
yeah,
I think he
there's
was
no
a
doubt
convert.
about that. Their emphasis on one God, their emphasis on, they're always armed. These six, they always carry
Yeah,
something on them.
they are permitted to keep a knife, a blunt one. But
I can go on a whole rant about this, man.
yeah,
So the six, they always carry arms on them, and they're big on defending their right to carry arms. They say it's our religious duty, and they specifically have it for defending the weak, defending the innocent, defending justice. That they're supposed to. That's part of their religion, to not run away but stand for what's right. And they fight for their right to carry. Yet you see Hadithans, they're so passive and weak and pathetic, and oh yeah, don't worry, we're not terrorists. Don't think of us as terrorists. That's all they care about, is just people not viewing them as a terrorist. But these people are ready to fight and defend. And this is Quranic. I personally think that it is our Quranic duty to be armed at all times. I really do. I do.
yeah.
What does God say in the Quran? God says that the kafirs, or those who ignore warning, those who disbelieve, they would wish to see you unarmed so they can all attack you at once. That's what God says in the Holy
Very
Quran.
good point. Very
I
good.
believe it's our religious duty, and it's obvious they got this from Islam, this idea of defending the innocent. That's how I live my life. I'm ready to defend the innocent whenever. Another thing that the Sikhs do is, well, they emphasize one God. They believe in one God. That's big. At the first thing in their Guru Granth Sahib, it's Ik Ankar, which means
Mm,
one God. And another thing is, even if you look at their golden temple, their holiest site in
yeah.
Amritsar, that it's a place that is giving constant charity. Constant charity. The Sikhs feed, I don't even know how many thousands of people a day. They,
Bro, my mom used to do cooking for, like, when she came to this country and she had
yeah,
no job, so she got associated with these people.
yeah, in the
And
Gurdwaras.
my mom said they cook every day, like they're
Every
feeding all
day.
the time.
Listen, and you can't get this at the mosques though. It's such a shame, but this is how a mosque should be. Anybody of any creed, you can call yourself Muslim, Christian, white, black, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You can
eat.
go to any gurdwara and they will feed you until
Yeah.
you are full. They will give you roti and dal and chawa, like
Yeah.
rice, and not
Yeah.
rice. It's mainly roti and just beans, that kind of thing. They will give you until you are full and satisfied. Anybody can go. In Canada, there are so many students who are poor, they're broke, they're paying for their schooling fees, they don't have much money. They go and get their meals at the gurdwaras. You look at the
Amazing.
Golden Temple, they feed thousands of people every single day. Even if you look, the Golden Temple, it has, I think, four doors on each corner, and that those four doors are to represent that it's open for anybody to come and seek safety and asylum. It's
Mm.
our duty as Sikhs to protect you. This is all Quranic, man. This is all
Oh,
Islamic. Why aren't the mosques doing this?
because the mosques, they don't have the right ideology. They think that, oh, we have to help the Muslims first and then them. Well, whoever comes, you help them.
Help everybody who comes
Yeah.
to you. Help everybody who comes to you. The even you look at how God describes the place of worship, the holy house. It's a place of safety where people can come and seek asylum. And
Exactly.
this is more like what they're doing with the Golden Temple in Amritsar. If I had a mosque, let's say, and I was charged with running it, it would be a place anybody can come seek safety. You need something to eat. If we got anything, we will feed you. Don't worry about it. We'll protect you. Let's say somebody is coming after you unjustly. You're escaping persecution. Don't worry. We've got you. That is how a mosque should be. And a place, obviously, where God alone is remembered.
Exactly, brother. Amazing point. This point also, which you said that there's four doors. That means they're representing the North Pole with the 4 points,
Yeah, you can
the
even say that
compass.
the central
Yeah,
point, and then it also represents that it's open for all peoples on all sides. And I
brilliant.
think all you need to do is all they say is just cover your head, and then you can go in and they'll feed you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're very much, well, I don't know how they would or Muslims would think that, but there are a lot of similarities. A
yeah,
lot of
they have
similarities.
they have a reputation of essentially. I think it's the gurus that taught them, and there's a reputation that at any moment, if you raise your hand asking somebody, I need help for something,"
Mm-hmm.
Sikhs have to help you.
Yeah,
And that's Islamic. That's Quranic,
exactly.
man. I wish Muslims had that reputation. If you ever raise your hand and you need help for anything as a Muslim, I must help you out.
Exactly. And
That's
that's
how
what
I
the
live my
Quran
life.
says.
Say that again.
I'm saying that's what the Quran says as well.
That's all Quranic, man.
Yeah,
Right?
brilliant.
The worshiping of one God, defending the innocent, being strong, standing for your rights, being charitable. It's almost as if they read the Quran.
I think their main guy was Muslim, the Guru Nanak, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, we have no idea, but he's all these ideas are from there, from the Quran.
Yeah, my only big thing with them is I think they teach reincarnation, which obviously I'm strongly against. But
Uh-huh.
it's very obvious that uh, Guru Nanak, he was in
Yeah,
Punjab at the time. He
yeah.
was a teacher in Punjab, and he was surrounded by this ridiculous Hadithan religion on one side and
Mm.
this ridiculous Hindu religion on the other side. And what he tried to do was kind of bring
Come the
a
middle way.
peace and amalgamation with them. And he was a wise man who was just trying to teach of one God. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He was a reformer. And this guy was a Punjabi guy, and he didn't have obviously any access to the Arabic. He couldn't read Arabic. And unfortunately, Hadithans have a bad habit of reading the Quran over and over in Arabic, even if nobody understands it. So this guy had no access to the Quran. So when this guy was going around, Guru Nanak, and saying Ik Ankar, teaching of one God, this is the first time many people in that region in Punjab, they were hearing the praising of one God in their language. So naturally, so many people followed him.
That's how the religion. I don't think he said make a religion. After he died,
No,
then they said,
this was
okay, this.
after the later gurus that
Yeah.
came. He was just a teacher and a reformer. He was trying to reform the corruptions in Hadith Islam and
Maybe,
Hinduism.
maybe Allah knows best. Maybe in Allah's eyes, maybe God's sight, he's a good man.
Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe in
maybe
God's
he
sight.
might go to
If
heaven
I,
even.
I recommend anybody get an English translation of the Guru Granth Sahib. You'll see, and it's not perfect, but you'll see so many things in line with the Quran. It praises God. It showers God's name with glory. It's a lot of Quranic stuff.
Indeed, indeed, brother.
Yeah. I mean, many people they even make fun of me. They say that they say you look like a Sikh, you look like a
Your beard,
Sardar.
your beard,
Yeah, beard and brown man.
your beard is like that, isn't it? So, yeah. And
Yeah,
plus, you got tattoos.
yeah.
First time I was directed to your channel through demystifying the jinns.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
brothers at Endgame Islam shared that video.
Yeah, Endgame Islam guy basically he shared that video and somebody mentioned you regarding the Flat Earth Manifesto, and I was like, "What Flat Earth Manifesto?" And then I saw your book, and mashallah, your material is too much over there.
Yeah,
You've done really good work.
yeah, that took a lot from me, but thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I just hope
So,
it's of a benefit to people.
inshallah, brother. It's been 2 hours. I think we should cut it off now. It's
Yeah,
like 10 o'clock over here.
no
So,
problem.
any message you want to give to this Trump administration, this new?
All I want to tell you guys is this big right wing movement that's going to come and declare war with the East. Don't fall for it. It's not a movement of God.
Yeah,
Trump is not a genuine guy. He's owned and controlled by the system. He was set up as a false savior figure. And please just focus in on God and don't get involved with any of these political movements. Okay?
indeed, brother, indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
Inshallah, we'll get back with you soon, and I hope everything goes good in your country, in my country, and all over the world.
God willing. And may God unite all the believers.
Ameen, and get them on the Quran
That's what
only.
it's about. All right. Peace be
Assalamu
upon
alaikum.
you, man. Have
Take
a
care,
good
brother.
night.
You too. You too.